board. I just forgot the key. There's a key combination to switch between no light, reactive light, and full light.
I have that at when the epilepsy thing, epileptic inducing all of the colors. Yeah. But this is not a mouse pad. You can't call this a mouse pad.
That's the Goliath extended, and it's technically a mouse pad. It is listed as a mouse pad.
Fine,
technically, when I searched for light bulbs, I got socks on eBay. So,
I mean, that mouse pad is more like a tablecloth, isn't it?
I'm just saying that
yes.
Maybe we should redefine what is technically right.
Yes. We are live, I guess.
Yeah, we are.
Quiet.
So we are talking about socks and mouse pads.
This episode is not sponsored by Sandwich.
Or any of the products we mentioned.
But if you do want to sponsor our show, please contact Theo.
Yes, contact me. Throw your money at me.
Or PayPal at Sepola. I don't know. That's also
he's not very greedy. A $1 million donation is welcome. And he did not pay us to say that.
He actually didn't, so that's correct advertising.
If it did, I've not checked PayPal.
Yes.
Ice cream, that was delicious.
Honestly, the one
it's not. It's a wire transfer.
The one sponsor that I would absolutely love to have for us is Madrina's Coffee, but they don't ship into Europe or anywhere else than Canada and USA, I think. So there's a slim chance there.
Jetpack?
You could have a PO box in Canada.
Yeah.
Or an affiliate. You need a Danny in Canada.
That's what Jetpack or Jet Carrier is. You get a PO box and then they just give you a US address.
Yeah, but that's way too much effort.
Can't say it's much effort, really. It's you sign up an account, you fill in your email, and then when you order, you just fill in a different email.
Who has time for?
Who has time for multiple addresses? He tells the guy that just mailed something to Germany, Malta, and Sweden and Netherlands.
Don't send anything to Sweden ever.
Hey, he's listening.
Big Papa will intercept it and steal it. I mean, what?
Was that something? What? Is there a door ring?
That's a church bell.
It is,
I was correct. No?
Oh, it's a phone.
Okay.
Are you sure?
She's extremely popular.
Or maybe she's trying to subtly hint something.
Considering what we've seen of her running around behind you, I can see why she would be popular.
I know.
Well, after the
I'm saying
stream.
she should capitalize on that, but she doesn't want to.
She certainly has assets.
I know. Without the ets.
She is all personality, just like us.
Yes.
Of course. That's why you go out with a girl, because of her personality.
Yes.
Yes,
exactly.
Actually.
Yes.
So, D&D.
Oh, wait, we're doing D&D tonight?
Take us up to Tinkertown.
I thought this was shit-talking evening.
Tinkertown?
Tinker Tower.
Tinkertown.
No, this
Tower
is
of
the town of
Tinkery.
Tinkery.
Ooh! This is a goal
Trademark.
that my character should have. Is there a Tinkertown in this world?
Probably.
Yay! We're going there.
You should also be interested in the... where did it go? The Edificant Library.
Yes.
Yes, I have so many places I want to go. In
Go
so
look at
little
And
time.
so little time, yeah.
Maybe we should leave this quest and just go for it.
Maybe we should just maximize our Twitch affiliate chances and split this party into 4 and just make like 4 single adventures.
4 single adventures across 4 different days.
Mm-hmm.
Plus the Monday session.
And then
Well,
very
that's a great
occasionally bring
continuously.
you everyone together again.
Just to say hi.
The
Yeah.
real question is, where is Mr. Crumplebottom, Londonerius, Bridger, Panzer, Greg, Northern Uptime, Stoat, Wheathaven, Soccer Practice, Hackerman, Anderson, Juxtapositor, Gear Lever, Harbingeros?
Harbingerous.
Harbingerous? Atlas Harryhouse?
What about
Where
What's
is he?
going on? Why
Where
is
is
he
he?
reading various
Where is
names?
he? He's
That's
with you
the
guys.
name of the gnome.
Ah, okay.
That is the full name of the gnome.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for short, he's called Joe.
No.
Crumplebottom.
No.
Just
I will call him
Crumplebottom.
Joe.
No, actually, Greg.
Greg?
Yeah, Greg
Really?
was in
Greg
there
is-
somewhere.
Greg
Greg
the
is in there.
gnome?
Yes.
That doesn't make sense to me. No gnome will, a respectable gnome will call himself Greg.
There's a reason why that's in the middle somewhere.
Yeah. It's exactly in the middle.
Right between the ice dispensary and soccer practice.
No, actually, between Bridger, Panzer, and North Upon Time.
Time.
Gnomes. So he is
are
with you
gnomes.
guys. You are still waiting for the elves, I believe. That's where we left off last session.
Which
Yep.
was midday or so.
Just about, yeah. Just past midday.
I'm in my bubble.
Well, I mean,
That's when you got back to your campsite.
our
and-
beloved orcs need some time to pack up and prepare, and if we're going to have any food today, we better get to it, I guess.
Well, actually, we already found some food, so.
You did?
Well, yeah, we have. I have rations of. I mean, I already ate my rations of the day, and it was berries, and I have another one for tomorrow.
I found food last
I'm living
time.
on berries. It's berries and water for me.
Sure no one mix any mushrooms into that diet?
Mine already
I don't have
contains
place for
mushrooms, so... crap. Most of my rations at this point are mushrooms. I don't see this going well.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
There are
Concepts.
some gnomes there in the air, flying, floating.
Floating away.
In the pink bubbles.
Each time they say, hi, they just float slightly further.
Actually, is absinthe eating?
Though
Totally no.
we still probably should wait the day until we get to hear back from the elves.
Well, I
Unless you
have my-
guys want to go ahead of the orcs and do all the hard work for them instead of letting them die miserably.
I think we should use the orcs and ride them like beasts, and this way I don't have to walk.
I mean, they're orcs. They're not even worthy of being beasts of burden.
Yeah, and
But
you
you
already
have
have
a
mounts.
mount.
I'm willing to give them the honor.
But as Teo just said, you have a mount already.
I do.
Why would you need to ride the orcs?
The mount can be on top of the orc.
Sure.
So your horse is going to ride an orc.
Haven't you
Yes.
ever seen Bilby?
Well, I mean, we already have someone riding another person in the group now, so... Actually, now we have a
you-
second one. We have a second one, yes.
Yeah. Speaking of Master Crumplebottom Harryhouse, he is
I
currently
still want my pig.
floating right beside Blaster's ear, just like an inch off his shoulder, and is digging around inside the hill giant's ear with a dagger that is inside a very small scabbard.
I have to wonder what the hell he's doing, but at the moment I'm busy with counting my buttons.
Looking for gold.
Something died.
Very well.
Okay.
That was.
She's
Unexpected.
She's okay. She's just having a bit of fun over there.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, clearly. So,
Though
Yeah,
we didn't actually do a full talk to the rest of the two brave defenders of the camp that didn't.
I wasn't defending the camp. I was off foraging. I left
I
had
Joanna
one
to her own
job.
devices.
pop my head out of the bubble and ask, "What? You left?"
Well, I mean, the camp is still here, so
Camp's in one piece. And I mean, I was
Sort of
within a
a
mile.
question.
not that
Isn't
there's
both
much
our
to
party-
demolish.
Just so I recall, aren't you currently like quiet on the side?
kinda. The thing is, it's going to take a while to sit there and mope, but
Yep.
you can't just do that.
Sure, you can.
I mean, he's an elf, but still.
Well, you have a long life, so you're not in a hurry anywhere.
Just because we have long lives doesn't mean we mope extra long.
No, but we take our time to mope properly.
Well, I suppose I wouldn't do a human-like mope. That would be very rushed.
Exactly. And
Stop our anger with me, by the way.
unaware, so I'm currently in my bubble and just enjoying whatever I'm doing in the bubble.
My good Sir Shump, I'm not angry with you. I'm just very disappointed.
Okay, because that would be racist if you were angry with me.
I'm just very, very disappointed.
I'm so sorry, Gothar.
Then there's
I
like
wish there
still
was something I could do.
there's still like a little bit of grog at just the corner of Shump's mouth. Kind of
Every burp just
kind
brings
of like,
out.
Yeah, kind of coagulated and sticking to the corner, like dried up a little bit.
And that's the biggest question. How the hell do they keep it from coagulating?
I have a handout for you about that too.
Oh God.
You have a handout about the
Elves
Yeah.
groggies.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Blood thinners.
Yes.
he went the
Aha.
extra mile.
So the orcs have discovered the wonderful medicinal properties of blood thinners.
Basically, I'm viewing my smudge as a memorial for your race.
Sure.
But Shump didn't say that, okay?
Wow. How many people would you guess is in that smudge?
Well, at least group. I don't know how many that will be, but say 3, 4 maybe?
Yes.
Depends if they do it in bulk. Oh, God.
There's just a giant vat, and they just string them up and slice the throat, and it just mixes all up.
Well, that depends on whether you have enough to like spare, or just like outright bloodletting, like that. But
Yeah, mostly they will just, cut the wrist a bit.
yeah, in a pinch, I would guess that it's like with some cultures that do with horses and cows, where you like tap one of the veins and it bleeds for a while, and then it's just like seals up naturally and is fine again.
Well, I was more thinking that since they have had to move
Whoa, it's
from
an
their
infinite
mountains.
grog supply.
Well,
Yeah.
since they've had to move down from their mountains, elves might have become a bit more easy to get a hold of, let's just say.
Yeah, and to be fair, they don't differentiate between elves quite as much as you do, so.
Yes, I'm sure they wouldn't be able to appreciate a fine elf grog made of actual high elf blood. The brutes.
Are you really volunteering yourself to become grog?
No.
Okay. Because you currently were judging them for not
He
choosing
could
you.
become a production supervisor.
because you were currently telling us why they should choose you instead of the wood elves.
I'm now picturing him just walking up to the orc camp, slicing his hand, putting it in a cup and going, taste that.
This is real stuff. This swill that you guys are making.
Slicing his hand, putting it in a cup and going, taste that.
I tell you what, this is. If you had tried only the finest young high elf children blood. No impurities. No clogging from old age. None of that fat from poor dieting. Only the fresh virility of youth.
Sponsored by Grog for Elves.
Gromash's Grog Factory.
Oh. Buy it now for $9.99.
Only 10 gold. Limited supply. Make a trace of nuts.
Wait, grog is more expensive than the liquor that you tried in Nightstone?
Well, it's
considering the supply.
Well, this is the premium quality high elf children's.
Of course, yeah.
Yes.
It's all to do with supply and demand.
What a perfect timing for the ambulance. Wait, no, this is...
There's no child labour laws, right? In Faerun, there's no child labour laws, so you'd be safe.
I guess that depends a little bit on where you are. Mostly, I would guess no.
Yeah, you'd be safe. Bleeding children count as child labour?
Just like there isn't really a age of consent laws either.
Or age of marriage.
Yeah. It's more like whenever you're fertile.
I mean, early practice
and like
hurt.
I guess some races wouldn't care about fertility either, but yeah. So how far into this rabbit hole are we going?
Well, I mean,
let's get back up.
I've never seen Sepp so excited to get out of a rabbit hole.
I think I can see the bottom of this rabbit. Oh wait, no, that's a corner.
No,
I've been down there so many times that I know that it could only get worse.
Yeah, I bet you're no stranger to holes.
You see?
So
you hear a splat as Master Crumplebottom Harryhouse flicks a goop of ear gunk off his dagger scabbard, and it lands on the ground. And then he shouts into the hill giant's ear, and you hear this echo coming out of it.
More importantly, what does he shout? Or is it just shouting?
He shouts, "Hi! Testing!"
Well, that is exactly what I imagined the gnome.
So, what will the rest of you do while I'm busy doing a proper high elf moping?
Preparing the rations of mushrooms.
I'm currently arranging my buttons by size.
You know what? Shump, you should probably go tell them all about what we're about to do the next day. Wouldn't that be great for you to inform them?
Are you talking about the rendezvous and the trip up, or?
Well, I mean, it's only fair to let our esteemed colleagues in on the deal you brokered.
But I don't see... there's no downside to the deal, is there? I mean...
Oh, no. I'm sure they'll approve of your decision.
Well, you were there. You could have said something.
I'm sorry. I was busy mingling with the rest of the slave elves.
Kothar, don't be like that. You know I had nothing to do with that. I was trying to mingle myself, trying not to be killed.
Yes, I noticed. Struck quite the accord, didn't you, with your half-brother?
That is just that was just because of my charisma. You know, I'm quite charismatic, and we wanted to survive. We're both here right now, aren't we? We even have a gnome and a hill giant. So something went right.
You don't feel this tribal urge to rejoin your compatriots in songs of merriment and butcher?
Well, yeah, there would of course be merriment because of the butcher. And I mean, don't try to sidetrack me, Kothar. We will meet them if we meet them, and we will probably be there.
There was a butcher. You should have brought us back some meat.
Kothar wouldn't like that if I did. Usually the meat was tainted.
Grog. It's a different thing.
There were slaves. I mean, let's just say that Kothar wanted to leave very quickly, and we are going to be with orcs.
I didn't actually want to
I pop my head out of the bubble and ask slaves.
You hear a very high-pitched hi.
I look at the gnome and say, slaves?
Well, yeah, Crumplebottom can inform the group of our arrangements. See, Kothar, that worked out for all of us.
What arrangements? You haven't talked about that with me. Well, I'm just leading you up to my tower.
Exactly, and that is like 70% of the arrangement. The other thing is that we might have a following of sorts.
I raise my eyebrow at him and kind of look at him and ask, following?
Please do elaborate.
Okay, you know when you go to battle and you don't want to face like 5 people all alone, right? You want the odds to be with you, right?
See, so you want illusions?
No. We all know that those illusions can't bear the touch. Basically, I got us some allies.
Mighty esteemed, fine allies.
Kothar, they don't know that. They are honorable.
One second, but
to some degree.
There's this word that kind of bothered me at first. Slaves?
Well, yeah, they had some slaves. They made some beverages.
How many is some?
I don't have the exact number on me, but
well, you saw at least like a dozen.
At least maybe.
And it seemed like
8.
There would be more.
Definitely not that many more than 8. I would imagine. I mean, I might have seen the same slave 3 times when I was there.
Yes, it's so hard to differentiate between slaves. You know, all those chains and mud and filth and remnants of fornication.
All elves look the same anyways.
Yes. All elves just...
I'm not like that, and you know that. I'm just trying to paint a picture for our fellow adventurers.
For the Horde.
You sure you don't want a second helping of grog? I could go slit my wrist or in a cup.
I raise my eyebrow and look at Kothar and ask, what do you mean?
Did he say does Chump know what that was made of?
Yep.
No.
Yep. Yeah. You were told last session.
Yeah, you're the one who knows much more about it, I think, than...
Kothar, don't. I had it once. I've never had it before, and I promise I will probably maybe never have it again. If it's not offered to me. But I will not seek it out. Okay? I won't look at you differently. Kothar.
So no longer just a barrel on feet to you?
No, of course. I look at you as my friend, Kothar.
You don't feel like popping my cork?
my
He'll
god.
kind of
The
he'll kind of just
imagery
stop.
here.
He'll stop and look at Kothar like he's thinking about something.
No. I would never pop your cork.
What? I want to know, what is your fork?
I see you have understood that proper elf grog takes time to age.
Oh my god.
Yes, that I don't like.
Older
I don't like underage drinking, Kothar.
Are you calling me old?
No.
You know that rabbit hole you were talking about?
Yeah, yeah, I remember that. I won't explore it anymore. Second time I'm crying.
Quilena will look at Kothar and ask, what are you talking about blood for?
Oh, why don't you get the full story from Ambassador Shump here?
I look at Champ and look very serious.
I look intrigued.
What do you mean? Well, I don't know if I can explain it any more than Kothar could. You want to know about elf grog?
What is elf grog? Do tell.
He'll point at Kothar.
Well,
I look at
you
Kothar.
know,
Kothar's the elf grog?
no, not exactly. No, he's not.
It's made of elf
processed.
blood.
What he said. Kothar possesses the ability to become elf grog.
So-
Transformers.
Of
Elf
course, I
grog
would
in
never do that.
disguise.
I would never do that. Kothar.
Doesn't that
Kothar-
also mean Quilena has the same ability?
Well, when you picture it like that, yes, I would imagine. I would, of course,
So-
never do that. To
Well-
So you
Kothar.
drank blood of my sisters and my brothers?
It was offered to me, and I didn't know what it was.
It should be pointed out that it was only sisters in that tent, and the obvious hints of involuntary fornication.
We butchered them, but that would.
Did we just lose? We just lost the stream.
Yeah, for a
Yeah,
moment
it's-
there.
Getting started.
Yeah,
I
OBS
see.
disconnected for some reason. We are back now.
Welcome back.
Nothing,
missed an entire
nothing
sentence.
significant happened really.
No, we're
Well,
still
I
trying to.
attacked Champ, but that's about it.
Yes. Yes.
Eh,
Basically, they're not more allies to us than we are to the harpies. Because
How
of
many
reasons.
orcs are they?
I never counted them or asked. I just know that there are many people, orcs, that would help us do our endeavor. And we also get an airship.
Would it
Do
not
we?
have been wise to find out the numbers of the people supposed to be helping us?
They're not supposed to be helping us. They're helping us. There's a difference.
For now.
I will say in Elven towards Kothar, and you agreed to all this?
God, I wish I knew Elven.
In proper elven response, my will was not even questioned in the matter. I was as cattle as the rest of them were.
Shump would look at Kothar and just nod.
You're not doing your case better, but okay.
Well, he thinks that Kothar is speaking on his behalf because reasons.
Technically, he is. I don't know Elven, but, you know, in
And-
theory, technically he is.
I ask Kothar in Elven, I continue to speak in Elven, and ask, how many would you say there were there?
Far too many to assault single-handedly, though the thought did cross my mind several times.
Exactly what he said.
And
I'm
why
gonna look
won't-
at Shub with like, you don't even understand what the fuck they're saying.
I
believe it's
maybe we
good.
should help them lose their lives.
I fully intend to after I've pitted them against the dangers of the mountain. I also, as much as I dislike having to ask these mere wood elves for assistance, it wouldn't be too awful if they happen to come across these orcs at a very opportune moment with lots of arrows.
Agreed.
I mean, we can't just leave a band of bloodthirsty blood drinkers roaming these hills.
We shouldn't really. I mean, as much as wood elves are not really worth,
True.
I'd rather have wood elves than that.
And these orcs, at least they'll serve as shock troops, or fodder at least. I don't expect them to be of much use.
No, I don't think they will be.
Their kind is awfully barbaric.
There
and
might be
useless.
some that will be lost during our travel upwards.
Yes, it would be terribly unfortunate if something were to happen to a few of them in our wake. I mean, they couldn't possibly know about bombs and traps left behind on the corpses and remaining foes we find.
Exactly.
Things like that happen. It's war.
So all we need to do is just keep Champ comfortable for now.
Oh, I'm sure Shump is uncomfortable as it is. He doesn't truly understand what kind of deal he's brokered.
Yes. So are we good?
I kind of do this smile towards Champ and kind of nod at him. And
Yes. Thank you, Kothar.
and saying-
I know I could count on
and-
you.
and say in common, "All right, we shall go with your deal."
I said it was a good deal.
I won't go as far as to say it's good. It's better than nothing.
It's means to an end. Well said, Kulena.
Means to an end indeed.
Yes, I see what you did there. We will totally have their benefit of their immense power.
Yes, we're fortunate you're such a adept ambassador, willing
Thank
to
you.
trade and bargain with all
Yes,
manner of
Thank you.
creatures.
Are you being sarcastic?
No.
Okay, yes. I'm also glad that we came out on the winning side on this deal.
Well, there's a few things left to be desired before we can really say that we are on the winning side of it, but I'm sure we can turn it around to something more proper.
I'm not sure what you mean, but I guess I'm fine with it.
Yep.
I guess it would come out in everyone's favor.
Mm-hmm. If you don't mind me, I'll try to go look for a stream to fish in or something for a bit of solitude, you know?
Of course. You've had a long, rough day. You've earned it. Good job, Kothar, today. You did good, swell.
Mm-hmm. Likewise to you, Ambassador Shump.
Thank you. I did my best, and I feel like couldn't have been done any better.
Your campaign is going to have a blast of a success.
Yes, I see what you did there.
Oh, we can hear you.
Hello? Oh, okay.
Hello.
I do a minor illusion of a goblet full with red liquid right at the feet of Shump. And just to go back into my bubble and sit down.
He will look at his feet, think about something, and just kind of try to topple it over.
Yeah,
Does it?
your foot goes through it.
So you're not there yet, huh?
Yet.
Right.
So yeah. That's what Kothar and Eniak will be doing. Half-assedly fishing in a nearby stream or something until the elves return.
I'll just be tending to the horses and crap like that.
I will be resting and sunbathing in my bubble. Well, not really sunbathing, but warming up, because I can warm up the weather in there.
Shump will take a general stance, look towards the mountains, and plot out how he will conquer the world.
I would
By
like to know
airship.
that plan.
Okay, so you sit in camp and as a phrase, sit in camp and wait until elves arrive. Master Crumplebottom Harryhouse observes Blaster as he finishes drawing these squares that are in a line, and then a few that are off to the side of it in a cross shape. And then you all can hear and feel the earth start quaking as the hill giant starts hopping on one foot from one square into the next.
Really, is he going to play that?
Yep.
I'm going to seal my bubble from noise.
The real question is, does she still feel the vibrations?
Yeah. It transmits through the ground, so I would guess that yeah. Especially if you have something on the ground like buttons or something like that, you can see them vibrate.
So I will, for a moment, pop my head out and yell, "Stop shaking the ground!" and get back to building my towers with my little buttons.
Sure. A moment later, the rest of you can hear this loud groan as the hill giant just goes like, "Oh," and the gnome is sitting on his shoulder, whispering in his ear, keeping the hill giant calm.
I'm wondering what he whispers to him to calm him.
Oh, you don't want to know.
You will feed on the elf. It's okay.
Just
Doesn't the
think of the
gnome-
barbecue.
He knows that kind of magic that Kolana has done, doesn't he? The Leomans?
Is he a mage?
He
2 seconds.
He's definitely a spellcaster, but I'm not sure if you would be able to guess or know what kind of spellcaster he is specifically.
He's a tinker.
He
caster.
doesn't appear to carry with him a spell book, but then again, he has this fairly big robe on him, so who knows? There might be one hidden somewhere in there.
I was more thinking if they might consider the Leomans hut as a chair.
Yeah.
It's impenetrable, so can't be that many chairs around for him.
Yeah, but the hill giant in general appears to dislike the hut, especially when it's in garish colors.
To be honest, I did adjust
the last
it this
time it
time
was
to-
in the ground color, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it still kind of
because
avoids
Kothar
it.
didn't approve it. I don't know why Kothar doesn't approve my bright pink, but yeah.
So, towards the evening, you start hearing shuffling from the forest, and eventually see 3 figures coming out of the forest. One of them is the scout that you've been talking to so far. Another one is one of the scouts that escorted you through the forest. And the final one is an older wood elf who wears this very detailed leather armor, almost like ceremonial style armor.
All right.
He walks leaning on a very fine elven glaive, and he like beeline straight towards your camp, while the other two stay at the forest edge.
I will, once I notice the rest of the group moving, I will notice it, and then I will also get up and listen. For now.
Yeah. Kothar will have been keeping an eye out towards the edge of the forest, anyways, for them. So he'll probably notice them early on and head over.
Yep. Shump, Rohedden.
I'll be moving towards the older gentleman who's walking towards the camp.
If everyone is noticing and
Heading
walking
up to-
towards them, I will probably do so too.
Sure.
Aiming to meet up with Kothar on the way.
Okay. So across the camp from the forest, you hear a gnomish voice call out, "Eladan!" And you see the elf.
Illidan Storm Rage!
You see the elf instantly roll his eyes and shake his head and like try and ignore the voice and concentrate on you, especially Kothar.
I take it you know our tour guide.
The elf heaves a sigh and then says, "Who doesn't know the master of Tower of Tinkery?
We don't.
You are fortunate."
I'm starting to get that idea, yes.
Mm-hmm. Very fortunate indeed. I believe you requested to speak with the elders of Thornwood. I am here to speak on their behalf.
And what amount of say or power do you have in their council?
In their council, very little. However, they have entrusted me to conduct this business through in their name. I am Ellen Winterwind, a Bannerlord of Olorenthalas.
The honor to meet you. I trust you have been informed of as much as we revealed.
Yes, I have heard as much as you have shared with my scouts.
And does your memory recall the warlord that we are alluding to?
None in Thornwood are old enough to recall such an age. At least, according to what was told to me, this was a time before even our elders were alive and could remember. However, there are tales of the time before, and I know how serious this task that you have undertaken is.
Yes, I'm sure. Do you have any relations to Crambo, perhaps?
Crambo?
Yes.
If
the name tells you nothing, then that is fine.
I do not recall the name.
And what of the settlement of Nightstone?
Nightstone we know very well. We once dealt with their people. I believe they call themselves the Nandars, who ruled the place. They once hunted in our forest without permission, but that was many decades ago.
It's interesting that you know of the Nandars, but not their prime advisor, Crambo. I wonder if he's a new acquaintance of theirs.
I would not know.
Well, onto the matter of hand. You know of the troubles that have befallen the mountains, I take it? Your scouts must have seen the airships.
Airships and giant vultures, yes. We have seen them passing over.
And you know that it is in relation to the warlord and a potential... I wouldn't so much call it a resurrection, but suffice to say the region... It's in the region's best interest to deal with this Tower of Tinkery and the cult. I do believe the orcs that we just parlayed with mentioned something about air cultists.
Hmm. From what I have heard of air cults in other regions, I would concur that the airships, giant vultures, the way they are dressed, it all leads towards an air cult. I am not sure what you have heard about them, however, as far as our people know, they have not descended from the mountain. They are holed up somewhere in there, and if you know it to be the Tower of Tinkery, then it is likely to be there.
To the best of our ability, yes. The tower seems to be the base of operations of this group. Though interestingly, one of the prisoners the orcs are torturing for information is of Am. At least he wore the garb of one such person.
I would not be surprised. Air cults do roam far and wide, wherever the winds take them.
As is fitting of a air cult, I suppose.
Indeed. I am surprised that they have stayed so nearby, if they have indeed holed up in the mountains.
My proposition is quite simple, really. My esteemed colleague and traveling companion, Shump here, has convinced the orcs to retreat back up to the mountain and besiege the tower for their old grounds, I suppose, and a bit of revenge. I would suggest that you join in the effort, though perhaps at a reasonable distance from the orcs. Wouldn't want them to lose too much of the glory of the battle. And I'll add to it in Sylvan, or have enough survivors left to be of any threat to you once you clean up the rest of them.
You see a slight smile stretch on the elf's lips, and he gives a very slow nod to you. I believe I understand what you are offering.
If possible, it would be very ideal if their current slaves were to find their freedom by some odd occurrence during the path up the mountain. I'm sure the orcs can carry their own belongings.
You are suggesting that there may be groups along the way that might harass them and free the prisoners?
Yes, it would be highly unfortunate, though in times of these kinds of trouble, even the orcs must accept that there are some risks involved after all. Naturally, I do believe the orcs would want to compete for the vanguard, though they probably expect us to be near the front, so any assistance we may add in such a privileged position is, of course, given.
You are very shrewd. I will give you that.
I've had some time to ponder. As I have a minor temperament issue that I barely managed to keep in check. Suffice to say, if I had been provoked during the negotiations, I don't think I would have survived, nor would half the camp.
I will be able to gather some of the warriors from Thornwood and assemble them to aid the cause. However,
Initially, might I ask that you forego your finely crafted arrows and use a bit more of a mundane set of ammunition? Wouldn't want to tip them off to who the real threat was.
the way we will strike them, they will not be able to see the difference in time.
Excellent.
Now, as for aiding you more directly, the elders did wish for me to deliver something if an accord has been reached.
I see.
He looks back towards the scout that you met with initially down south, and he retreats back into the forest. While Elden looks over the your adventuring group, and then turns back to you, Kothar, and goes, "So, after this is done, once the tower and the orcs are no longer an issue that plagues this side of the Cloven Mountains, what is your plan then?"
There's something we need to recover that is part of this whole business. Nightstone has tasked us to recover something they lost in a attack of this air cult. Beyond that, our business is really concluded within Nightstone, and personally, I had pondered a trip to Shilmista, my home forest. I hear you haven't had contact with them in a while.
No. The the trade that we did have slowly dwindled. First it went from monthly to twice a year, then even rarer, and then finally simply no traders arrived. The trade was mostly from Shilmista's direction anyways, so we did not ponder very much about it.
Trade of convenience or necessities?
Both.
I am a tad concerned for my people, so I shall have to hurry up this slaughter.
Well, we can aid on that. The orcs will require perhaps 2 days to fully withdraw from their camp. If I know their kind, they will have already assembled a main force that will march up into the mountains. The rest will be still encamped until everything has been pulled down. We may nudge them along.
Convenient. We have secured ourselves a guide. Based on your acquaintance with it, I'm sure you can attest to his knowledge of these mountains.
He knows the way up, and he has quite the place up in the mountains. Be careful where you step once you get there. Not due to traps, but because of everything else that he has built over the decades. Simply be wary.
How fast are your scouts? In rocky terrain, that is.
They will be faster than the orcs. I can promise you that much.
I was more concerned with our attempts at scrying the location have had very limited results and also unconfirmed results. So any further information about what size of force we can confirm to meet up there is of use both to us and you.
I can send runners up ahead of everyone else to scout.
Yes. As far as we have been able to discern, a fleet of 12 airships, if I'm not mistaken.
Wasn't it 6?
A dozen or so. Fully complemented with riders and also these creatures that you speak of. Any information on those, or at least their vulnerabilities?
The airships we do not know anything about, aside from what they are. That much is clear from what we can see from down here. The vultures... the vultures are weaker than they might seem. Simply avoid being pecked as much as you can and you will be fine. If you take a cleaver to the neck, it will be quite beneficial for you. I would say that much. The occultists themselves do not seem to be as much powerful as they are simply zealots.
Zealots in number can still be an issue, but we'll keep it in mind. Though if these birds are somewhat weak, then a wing clip shouldn't be too hard to deal with. Perhaps we can kill the proverbial bird with a single stone.
That would work very well.
Well, I can't think of anything else that requires our attention currently. We should rest up for the night and prepare to strike out at dawn, I believe. Unless my companions here have anything else they wish to bring to the imaginary table.
I will just kind of nod for a moment towards the elf and kind of go back towards where I was sitting.
Okay.
Trying to ignore him as much as possible, though listening into the conversation.
Sure.
Ambassador Shump.
Shump, do you want to... No.
No interest in forging relations with these delicious people.
The wording.
Very well.
Okay.
I look forward to seeing the fruits of your labor.
I look forward to seeing what you leave behind yourselves in the mountainside. Adventurers are always a fun bunch.
Oh dear, I take it you have some experience.
I would like to head towards where the gnome is.
Sure.
And kind of try and get him to come down a moment to speak.
Okay.
And wave at him, come here.
Yeah, he's sitting on Blaster's shoulder, and when you wave up at him, he just kind of flickers into a mist for a moment, and then appears directly in front of you.
I say,
Hi.
We have something to... Hi. We have something to speak about.
Do we?
Yes. What do you know about airships?
Oh, they're cool. Oh, are we talking about clockwork or trapping elementals, or are we talking about gas, or are we talking about magic? Because, oh boy.
I would guess clockwork.
Oh, that's my specialty.
Is there a way to get them to fall from the sky easily?
Oh, yes. Pop the balloon.
Sorry?
They have...
I didn't hear.
They have big balloon.
Yes?
Pop that. Then they float
They
down.
have a balloon. Did that have a balloon? Okay. So there is no backup system for it to keep floating.
Usually no.
All right. That's good intel.
They would need
and what
wings
if
for
it's-
that, and who straps wings into a ship? That would be insane.
Well, actually, I like that idea.
Flying machines with wings?
Well, we
Insanity.
could take those eagles' wings and connect it to the sides.
Ah, bah, humbug. And will
Well-
never work.
Are you really going to give up on your tinkering? I mean, think a bit about it. You could be the first gnome to have a flying ship that doesn't need a balloon.
I have tried.
Well, did you have eagles?
No.
Well, giant eagles, we clip their wings and use it.
Clip their wings, make a ratchet system inside, and would need some way to keep them moving, but that might be I believe
Clockwork?
I know exactly the trick for that.
Good. So maybe we can work together with that. Can we? I look at him like,
He just looks up at you and blinks, and then starts talking in Gnomish.
I kind of look around for a moment and say, there's no other gnome here. Could you speak in Elven, Common, whatever?
What? You don't speak Gnomish?
Well, I could...
And you
I could
want to
put an
help me in
illusion.
my tinkery? Gnomish is the language of invention.
Well, I would be glad to learn it.
Philistine. And then he dissipates into the smoke again and appears again atop Blaster's shoulder. He keeps growling down at you.
How rude. I'm helping him and then he's growling at me.
It's a gnome.
I will do a minor illusion of the gnome sitting right next to him, and it will say,
Hi!
and it will be a replica of him.
Oh, you're handsome.
He says, no, you are.
Ah, I like you.
I like
Any-
you too.
Then he starts talking in Gnomish.
The other gnome just kind of like if he doesn't listen and says, well, don't you like her too?
Master Crumblebottom Harryhouse turns very slowly to look at you, Quelena, and then looks back to the illusion gnome beside him.
I will do as
And,
if I'm not interested in looking at some direction. Like,
Sure. He starts talking in Gnomish again. Actually, he just says one word in Gnomish.
Hmm.
Then there's a pause, and then he starts rattling
Sound-
off again.
could I roll for like insight or something to like try and guess if it's positive or negative?
Sure.
Okay. Not the exact meaning, but I just need the approximation. Insight. That would be awful. What did I roll? Oh, that's actually not bad.
Not bad at all. Not good enough.
Really?
You can't
17?
tell. There's there's like this weird inflection in the tone when he speaks in Gnomish, so it makes it almost impossible to figure out whether that was a positive or negative.
Right, so the gnome next to him will kind of come up to the gnome and do with his finger kind of boop to his nose, and it will do a poof of smoke and disappear. This is how
I like that trick.
And I will just kind of say, well, what do you say? As though I didn't notice any of it.
About what?
About our cooperation.
What about?
Are you in?
No, I am outside.
I will just look at him, give him like a serious look, and then giggle to myself and start casting my bubble.
Sure.
Ritual cast.
The first time, as soon as you are almost done with your casting, you see Master Crumplebottom Harryhouse just like flick his wrist and finger and say like a single word, and you feel your magic fizzle and fail to work.
After 10 minutes of work, really?
9 minutes and 58 seconds.
Yeah, pretty much.
I will do a minor illusion of him with his head kind of not completely connected, and I will say, "This can happen," and then I will start casting again my spell.
Tinkering is very dangerous. Plenty of stretched wires and everything. It's an occupational hazard, I'm afraid.
I will just kind of do this, like, go away kind of motion and continue casting my spell.
You hear him shuffle around for a moment as he climbs down Blaster and then walks up to you and, like, just hovers on the edge of your vision, just, like, peering at what you're doing.
I'm guessing he will do it again.
By that time, I will start approaching him, since I've concluded with the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a few minutes to talk while Quelana is doing her chanting. We'll just stand right there next to her doing the talking, just looking at her. Just.
I will just do this for a moment. This angry face towards Kothar and keep going at it.
Sure.
So, Mr. Crumplebottom.
Yes. Hi.
Tomorrow's a big day. We might be retaking your home for you.
Takes
You're
more than
welcome to join us.
Takes more than 1 day to get up to the tower.
You don't know any shortcuts?
Many, but still takes more than that.
Well, I do hope you look forward to teaching a lesson to the guys that evicted you from your home.
No. They should have learned their lesson by now. I mean, with what I left behind.
Pray tell, what did you leave behind?
Oh, you shall find out.
I look forward to.
I shall give you one if you are very noble in recovering my tower.
Yes, speaking of noble things, you of course will have your tower
He
back
reaches
and
up and
such.
curls his mustache.
Though you are aware that we've bargained with the orcs, yes?
Yes? That's
Let's
why you
just
left
say
alive.
It wouldn't be a bad thing if Blaster happened to step on a few on the way up, just so you know that it wouldn't be a bad thing. So don't be too careful with steering him.
Steering? I never steer Blaster.
Excellent.
By the time, by the way, I want to say something out of character. By the time we reach the battle, there would be probably no orc left in our army. They will be smashed. They will be hunted by the elves, and we will reach there and no one.
Also,
There'll be one.
Just
Maybe.
Chromus left.
Yeah.
No, I meant Chump.
Oh, I mean, then
well,
it would be
only
half.
half.
Yeah.
Okay, so half an orc will be left.
So
But which half of them is the orc?
I'll just, once I've finished talking to Mr. Crumplebottom, we'll just stand there and keep watching Quilana. And since I've heard her do this now quite a few times, I should be able to tell when she's nearing the end.
Sure.
I'll also like to counterspell her.
There is a special hell reserved for you all.
So, almost at the exact same moment as before, suddenly you feel your magic leave you and fizzle and fail to work.
Doesn't he need to actually roll anything to counter?
Not if it's until it's a set level spell.
Sorry. Yeah, I didn't understand.
If it's a spell of 4th level or higher, that's when rolling comes into play.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Though that depends also on what level you're casting the counterspell as. Up until that point, it's just like, oh, were you doing something?
Yeah. So the magic fizzles again. The gnome beside you like reaches up and curls his mustache. This time looking actually quite innocent, and he just like nods and goes, nice trick. Then he turns around and walks away.
Yeah, I'll not so much walk away, I'll saunter away over to Shump. And just stand next to him, and you know that buddy slap that you give to people on the back? I'll give him a slightly unnecessarily hard one. Right, Shump?
I was preoccupied. What did we say?
Kothar is sauntering over to you and giving you one of those, buddy slaps on the back, and on the ribs, or not ribs, angel
Spine.
wings, spine. Just slightly unnecessarily too hard.
And Seb, if Monday evenings don't work for you because you're too distracted, we can always find
it's
a
okay.
replacement.
It was a conversation that was ongoing.
Hmm.
It's okay.
Maybe we should get you one of those horse blinders.
Yes. Or an office. Like a bona fide office.
Office would be nice.
Horse blinders are probably cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can set up an office here in the city. Like
Yeah.
pool our money together and
I have a feeling that I would be pitching in with the most part on that.
at least you wouldn't be pitching.
Yeah, true. Like 3 of you got that reference.
Once I see Kothar or the gnome going to eat, I will cast prestidigitation to make it taste like mud.
Okay.
That's okay. I'll press the
Enjoy.
meditation it back.
I'll prestidigitation it again back.
And so the Wizard Wars began.
Well, I have a surprise for you tomorrow. Don't worry.
Oh boy. Very well.
So, a while after Eladin leaves back in the woods, the scout from before walks back out and like drops a small box on the ground at the forest edge, and then stomps back into the forest.
Ooh, buttons.
How big a box?
It's not very big at all. It's like less than a meter wide.
On a scale of gnomes.
I could
Huge.
probably carry that. I'll just go over and fetch it then.
Is it buttons?
I would be very concerned if that were buttons.
Do I see you going to get this?
Probably.
I'll shout over. Tell me if it's cooking supplies.
Tell me if it's buttons.
Anyone else? Should I tell you, Shump, if it's grog?
I was waiting.
Don't be like that, Kothar. No.
Could be orc grog.
That sounds
If it would
tasty.
make you feel better, I would probably drink it.
Ugh.
Well,
Wouldn't
I
that
mean,
be cannibalism?
you're a man of
Yes.
such fine tastes anyways.
Thank you.
So what is in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Buttons.
It's a box.
God
So-
damn it, what's in the box?
I bet it's a cat.
You open
It's
the
probably just
lid
cat.
on the box and see that there is a
Cat.
like a long piece of fabric, like velvet, wrapped around like three layers. So there are like 3 items in between, and then there's a velvet covering separating them and folded over. You unfold the first layer and see a small hand axe with 2 blades. Two blades on either side and a hole in the middle.
Why not one upside and one downstairs?
A winged axe.
Hand winged axe.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. And what else?
And the next layer is a silver harp, etched with a spiraling pattern of swirling runes.
Ooh. Well, since I don't see it yet.
And yeah, it's like fairly small as far as harps go. It's like not quite that small, but it's like around this size.
Oh, so
It's not a mouth harp?
No.
No, it's with
No.
your tongue. You play it with your tongue.
And the third is a set of bracers made out of
Razor? What?
bracers
I heard a set of
made
razors,
of
and I was
a
like,
very fine leather and etched with these like very classically wood elven patterns of leaves and other nature shapes. And see what else. In addition, there is shuffled between these 2 bracers a small pouch that has been left open, and inside you can see gold coins.
I'll make a gesture of thanks towards the forest. They're definitely watching us still, and bring the box over to the group.
how many gold coins, by the way?
Well, you're
I mean,
you're good at counting, so here's your chance to display those
Actually,
skills.
you don't know it because I was doing it in my bubble.
We assume you're good
For
at building.
now,
We know if you're passion for buttons.
this isn't our first adventure.
I would never reveal how loving I am to my buttons.
We just know you have a passion for them.
And a box.
I like
So,
buttons.
no, really. So
Yes.
you bring the a box over to the camp.
Quilana, might you assist me here in identifying these items? I'm sure you have.
Could. Sure could. Let's do it.
Save us some time in casting.
Okay.
I will ritual cast identify
Same thing.
Sure.
on the harp. I will
We'll
start
just
with.
double up so it goes faster.
Okay. Sure.
I'll of course call all the others over and see what the elves brought us. Gifts.
Yep. And
Will we also identify the coins?
Sure, why not?
There are a total of 40 coins. 40 GP.
Let's see. We are 4 people.
So that means I get 37, and you get 1 each.
That
Finders
could be the
keepers.
count.
Let's make it 38 and me and Koalana get 1 each.
I can actually do an arcane lock on that snatchel, and then
Split it evenly, or does anyone else
10,
actually
10.
need currency?
I actually
I'm
have
down
no
to about
currency.
4.75.
I'm rich.
What I worked out. Although I've got. Hang on. Where is it?
God, who is getting the boomerangs?
We need to find what it is.
That is one hell of an axe.
Where
Oh,
is
there it
my
is.
gold? I always forget where it is.
Bottom center. It's the 6 boxes that on the bottom center left.
I do have about 45 gold in items that I still haven't sold from the encounter with the goblins.
I don't see my gold.
There you go, and now I have 22. Okay, hand axe.
I think. Do you guys, magic users, use hand axes?
I do.
I don't.
Then I guess since I have the Copecious, or
This
Earthen,
is just a +1 item anyway, so your coefficients should be approximately to it.
Earthen doesn't have any stuff.
I'm
I don't see my
currently leaning
gold.
towards two-hander stuff, so
I'm lost.
I could have it, but it would be like
Your character sheet, center, all the way at the bottom. There's
Yes.
6 small boxes stacked on top of
Indeed.
each other. The top one is copper,
No.
then you have silver, or CP, SP, EP, GP, PP, GP.
I don't have that.
you said P.
PP.
double-bladed adamantine head at either end of its that implies it's both ends. It's like a twin-sided.
I have a copper per
double-bladed.
gold, silver per gold, and all that. But I see no gold.
That's on the cogwheel.
Oh,
At the very bottom, underneath equipment.
Just go to
underneath equipment.
Core. Yeah, go to core and all the way at
there.
the bottom.
Yep.
The cogwheel is just settings. It shouldn't really be anything you need to touch. Now,
I would happily take the axe.
the boomerangs
Do you want
Yeah.
to get identified first?
we have.
I
Oh.
haven't identified
Let's
it.
actually see.
The boomerangs is a one-handed thing, though.
Yeah, that's-
badass actually.
I was looking at the magical effect more than the actual weapon itself. It would be interesting to use since my 2 current weapons are limited by space in the way I can use them.
True.
I vote for Earthen.
Yeah,
to have
just
the axe.
keep in mind the weapon swapping rules.
Yep.
What do you think, Qualana?
I
I
could
would-
use the harp.
I wouldn't mind the boomerangs, but I'll also be happy with the bracers.
Since you're going to be naked anyway.
Yep.
Actually, the lesser braces of defense is also something that I won't be needing, or the harp.
You're satisfied with your AC?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, actually,
My
you
AC.
wear armor anyway, so it doesn't matter.
And my AC is 18.
It's just me and Qualana that could make use of the bracers, I think.
Yes.
I'm actually. Yeah.
Yep.
Say.
So, the boomerangs goes to Roherthan then.
Yep. I'm just trying to work out how to add this in.
Well, my suggestion is to put it in typing.
That's what I'm doing. Melee attack.
Hmm. All right. This was interesting.
Very well. The bracers require attunement. That puts me up to 3 out of 3. Boop.
Boop.
And then I take it we have a night's rest.
Okay.
Yeah, you will be
I'm
able
guessing.
to have a long rest.
Yep. So let me just arrange my character
I
sheet.
hope you are
so
pleased
have-
with your new loot.
Always
Yes.
love that loot.
The sheer amount of loot is slowly compiling. Remember to make sure that you don't attune to too many items,
Yes.
do I need to attune to the harp?
unless it says that requires attunement. Then you don't have to attune.
Oh, okay.
Harp requires no attunement. You're fine.
Yay! I can play it.
The bracers require attunement, though.
Ding ding ding.
As does the axe. Let's see. What's the base damage of the axe? If you're just swinging it rather than throwing.
It's a regular hand axe. I
Can
think it, if it counts, yeah, it still has a +1. But as a hand axe, has a base damage of 1d6.
here's a question.
Yes.
The Fey harp gives inspiration.
If you
Yes.
succeed, yes.
Yes. Now the question is, do I choose when it is used, or is it like inspiration on the first roll that I do?
It's a regular inspiration, so you get to decide when to use it, and it doesn't stack if you already have inspiration.
1d6 slashing.
Yes.
So I would like to play the harp.
Sure.
The hand axe throwing range is 20-60.
DC of, I mean, what? Performance. What? Do I have that?
Yes.
Yes.
Never saw it.
It's charisma based, so
yeah.
Melee
luck.
ranged.
That's
2060,
+4.
you said, yes?
Well, I played the harp, but it's my first time.
Yeah.
So
It sounds like it's out of tune.
It sounds like a dead cat, basically.
Yeah. Champ,
I
what
mean,
are you trying to do?
Somehow the harp.
Just
instead of
wanted to
doing
see my
like-
charisma.
Somehow this harp kind of sounded like a cat being tortured instead of actually sounding like music.
Yeah, you see Shump like walking around the camp, and there's this sound, and for a moment he looks around and tries to like find the correct tune and harmonize, but he sounds like a cat being strangled as well. His voice breaks completely.
Dexterity.
Now I kind of want to try to see what I can do.
To be honest, I didn't have to roll it because we actually have inspiration from last time.
Yeah,
I had a crit fail and I got a 7.
It's still
I
a
just
crit
noticed
fail.
it.
Wait, did you use your inspiration or is it from previous?
Is it from the last session or did I just leave it there?
No, it's a few sessions ago now.
Okay,
but-
so I'll delete it. Yeah.
No, it stays with you.
Okay. I thought
Until
it's
you
for
use
one
it.
session.
I don't give it out enough, so
Yeah.
I wanna.
I don't pull it out of your sheets at the end of sessions or anything.
Seeing as how it doesn't require attunement and I know what it is. Well, no, let me give it a bash.
Actually, you can only use it once a day.
Abash.
You can only use it.
I'm not sure, actually. Can someone else use it once per day as well? Or is it once a day that it can be activated?
I rule that one character can use it once per day.
I don't mind you trying. Here you go.
Let's see if I remember my old lessons from.
Probably not. We'll see.
Slightly better.
It's better. You like
The irony, I have proficiency in this.
Yeah. You pluck at the strings and like start getting the strings in the proper tune. But it's still short from what it should be.
It's
Could
a
Sean
basic
try the actual harp?
children's.
I say, how did you do that? To kind of look at the harp and try to figure out what he did with it after my awesome performance.
I don't recall many tunes. I only were taught the basic children's songs, like
It's like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star
yes.
or Baba Black Sheep.
And I'll just I'll give her a few pointers on like how to put your fingers
That's
on it and
not
stuff.
right. Do you see?
This is my
Do
boomerax.
you pass the harp around to Shump?
I'm not sure I should. I mean,
He can
He's
roll
an
another
orc.
one and like break a string.
yeah, exactly.
Glenna, it looks funny.
I will kind of look at him and say, don't use your strength on it, just your fingers.
I promise. I promise.
I hand him the harp.
Thank you.
Based on what I heard about your
That's persuasion.
I missed it.
Are you trying to persuade the harp?
There you go. So Kothar did all the hard work and tuned it out, and then Shump walks up and instantly starts shredding. You've seen like halfling bards in bars before and taverns, and you're
I
fairly
am
sure,
also a bard, nor entertainer.
and you're fairly sure that Shump manages to beat at least a few of the ones that you've heard.
lovely.
I'm on a highway to hard rock.
That was a lovely song. I want to hear the entire song now.
The floor is all yours.
No. You should hear the other ones. Hotel Ankwood and stuff. It's awesome.
All right, let's advance.
Great.
Let's go into the mountains and die. Oh, I meant live.
Yeah.
Joking.
Do a few hits and see what happens.
Yeah. So early next morning, you hear. I think you wake up
Me
to
casting mage armor.
you wake up to the sound of Blaster kind of stomping at the ground. He's like leaning forwards towards the mountains and stomping his foot on the ground as if he's like getting ready to bolt off towards the mountainside. And
I kind of yell out of my bubble, kind of, could you keep it down? Some people are trying to sleep.
no, we gotta go. Rum rum.
Room? Really? Okay.
Gotta go fast.
I will get ready.
Yes. I take it we should set out and let's see if we can't find some traps to leave behind.
You hear a giddy up and then start feeling the ground quake as this hill giant starts leaping off towards the north while you're still packing your belongings.
I will. Well,
I'll
no, I
be-
will let him run.
Feeding the mounts and prepping them whilst everyone else is packing up camp.
Well, for me, it's not really packing up camp. It's just like packing up my buttons.
Yeah, that could take a while.
Yes, I need to count them before I put them in the box.
As you're putting them in the box. 1.
No, it's in the
39.
bubble. So every morning you can wait. You wait like this 1 hour for just to be counting my buttons, and in the bubble, no one knows.
So we have this scene where we see the hill giant run towards the hillside and get the scene from Monty Python and the Holy Grail where he comes to like halfway over the hill and then we cut back to your camp and then back to the hillside and he's back at the starting position and he runs back to the mid of the hill and then we cut back to the camp and we keep going back and forth and he never gets past the mid of the hill.
Oh yeah, I know that scene. That was a beautiful scene.
You hear this faint giddy up from the distance.
All we need is now 2 guards that will kind of look at it.
Yeah.
We need coconuts, right?
I've not got coconuts, so we're stuck with.
Well, clearly that is not nearly fast enough.
It was a hill giant.
Now that's the horses are following.
Hold on, can we quickly find Bonanza on the
Ding 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 ding.
the Landburst Bonanza? No, doesn't look like it. Oh, no Bonanza theme for us. So you eventually make it out of camp and chase down this hill giant that's laughing maniacally and stomping into the hillside. I would do the laugh, but it would be horrifically insensitive.
I will create these goblets with red liquid every so often in front of Shump.
Just he's on his horse. They're just on the head of the horse.
Oh yeah, I will put it on the head of the horse. That would be lovely. And it would like almost every time it would almost fall, but not. Kind of bobbing there.
And I'm trying to patch things up with Kothar. You're not making this easier.
I will kind of look at him for a moment and put my tongue out for a sec and then go on and keep it going.
All the way up
Very
to the tower.
mature.
As for Kothar, well, never mind now. I will do it later.
Okay, so there's no need for counter spells.
Not yet.
For now.
It's good that I don't have it memorized for the day.
Oh, goody.
So, you journey up the mountain, and through the hills first, over the hills and far away,
Murder hobos come to play.
until you get to the mountain passes in the north. If you seek to make traps or something like that for the orcs, what kind are you thinking? At one point, you finally get to like a wider path through the mountains, and Master Crumplebottom Harryhouse tells you that this will be a likely path up to the mountains from the orcs as well.
Moment.
Shump?
This looks like a very good path for my companions to ride through. What do you think, Kothar?
Yes.
Our allies would fit through here nicely, don't you think?
Yes, our esteemed friends.
Yes. Crummus and his band of warriors.
Maybe, Shump, maybe you can scout ahead a bit.
It seems to be clear ahead.
Are
Oh,
we laying the
why don't
ambush
you-
here?
What ambush?
Against the ones from the mountains.
The gnome suddenly switches to Elven. Sorry. Are we doing the ambush here?
What is he talking about?
I would kind of get the hint and just grab Chump's reins for his horse and ride on with
Where are
him.
we going?
Don't worry, Shump. Ambush for any potential other bad air cultists that
Good
might want to
thinking,
ambush your
Kothar.
friends.
Let's continue
You know
on.
there are
We don't
kobolds
need to
here.
wait.
Oh, we hate kobolds. We should definitely put up something for the kobolds so that they don't interfere with the marching of the orcs.
I'm sure our magical friends can deal with any trap laying.
I trust that they will. Kothar, you got this, right? Stop those kobolds.
Yep. I will ensure no kobolds get past this point. No pesky creatures at all.
I must say that I have no spell.
A very strong inflection of the word kobolds.
I'm looking
Yes.
at Roherthan.
Kobolds.
Do you think he has something planned? Because his voice and tone and everything has kind of changed towards me lately.
No, you're imagining it.
You think it is? I've been feeling weird lately. All these illusions is getting to my head.
It could also have something to do with the elf blood you drank. That may be messing with your head a little.
Do you think I'm in withdrawal? Is that what this is?
From what I was told, it was one drink.
Well, maybe it was potent. And also I've been seeing it on the head of my horse this entire time. It's been teasing me, Roherthan.
You could have just developed alcoholism after that
I'm
delicious
sustained from alcohol,
War.
Roherthan.
brew that we received back in Nightstone.
That was actually awesome.
I can still feel it.
Me too. In a good way.
And he will just look ahead.
Well, you're traveling forward. What are the rest of you doing?
Well, Kothar, do you have a shovel?
No. And this is the part where I really wish I didn't feel forced to use that scroll of stone shaping. I would have loved having that now, or having scribed it. Wait, can I scribe the other scroll that I have? One moment, I need to
You don't have enough gold.
No, but I need to check when I need to start asking for more gold. 4th level, that's what we can... Is that what we can... No, that's next level up. Okay. Anyways, traps.
Yes.
Yes. What are you using to make traps?
Well, we can dig a hole.
I mean, isn't that a bit beneath you?
Well, a hole will always be beneath me. I mean, come on.
I set it up and you knocked it down. That's fucking teamwork.
I'm not sure I want to do this, but...
Do tell.
How many days will it take to get to the tower?
It took you a day to get up fairly high in the mountainside, and from here it's very rugged terrain, so either one more day or two.
I would think that we would stop before the camp in order to rest up before the battle. Or to plan.
Yeah, because it's going to hurt like... Ow.
Sorry.
Thing is...
I don't have anything.
I have
this
something.
This is where the party discovers that all the excellent plans that they set out with come to nothing.
What plans? No, the thing is, I have Glyph of Warding, and the reason why I asked about that if we have time for one more rest before the battle is because I'll need to use the coin to cast it. Potentially several times. The issue is, if you read on the text of Glyph of Warding, I don't mean to use it in itself as an explosive device. I mean to use it as a triggering explosive device for a rock slide. So I would need to look for a fitting spot where it would actually be useful, but I don't know if it's explosive enough.
Depends on the place. There are plenty of places where rock falls would be more likely to happen and be plausible, especially on the further up in the mountains.
Yeah, because ideally you would try to find a road that's kind of
a
section that wiggles upwards like that, and have someone far up trigger it so it hits a large group down. The issue is, can we find such a spot?
So far you haven't, or it hasn't become quite steep enough that it would have been a position where you have to zigzag up.
What about any natural bridges or chasms that need to be crossed?
There are ridges, and there are a couple of chasms as well. However, the chasms especially are very sturdy looking. So they're like two very big sections of rock. They aren't like boulders or anything.
Okay. Yeah. I would try to look for such a spot then, where we can have at least a few circuits that might fall down upon the warband.
Sure.
It needs to look realistic.
Well, I mean, they are probably expecting traps and stuff from these people, so
it's orcs.
It doesn't really matter if they know that it's a trap or not. Rather, whether the rock slide wasn't natural, let's just say.
I guess.
I'm more concerned with
how trigger
painful. I have many options for triggering it. Many options. Stepping, I can set in keywords, I can set in fairly advanced.
Advanced magical glyph making.
Yes. You can further refine the trigger so the spell activates under only certain circumstances or according to physical characteristics, such as height or weight, creature of kind, creature type, creature alignment, etc. So it's a very versatile triggering mechanism. Stepping, proximity. I could make it so that if specifically, what's his name again?
Promise.
If specifically Cromus steps upon that inch of dirt within 23 seconds, wearing a cape and have it changed his alignment to neutral good, then it would trigger. That's how advanced you can get with the triggering mechanism. In my instance, I would just set it in the. It says something about how it's almost invisible. It requires a investigation against my spell save DC to find.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just make a line in that soon as
an orc.
4 orcs have passed, then it will trigger.
Okay. Are you setting it in like a narrow spot? Or where they can go side by side, or where they have to go single file?
Whichever we happen to find, because I'm guessing it's easier to find a circly road section than it is to find a narrow spot on that area, etc. So just as long as we know that the rock slide can hit as many as possible on the way down.
Okay, sure. So you keep going and keep an eye out for any possible locations where it'll look plausible to take out more than just a small section of the orc column, and you definitely have good opportunity to watch how sturdy the rocks are, since you have a hill giant kind of stomping very carefreely ahead of you.
Maybe a few times if you see some pebbles falling past.
Oh yeah, it's like almost constant. A couple of times there's like a larger boulder that slides down the mountainside, and he's like well ahead of you, so you don't come into direct harm. In fact, a couple of times you see like these giant vultures circling above you with riders, and one of these times a rock falls down from the slope, and the hill giant just kind of twirls very athletically around, catches the rock, and immediately spins it up and into the sky, and just barely misses one of the riders.
See the boulder? I like that boulder. That was a nice boulder.
Yes, it's pity with that all that we see isn't just a pile of feathers suddenly. That would be much more impressive.
Like fireworks, but with feathers.
So, we eventually find a spot, or
Roll a d20. Okay. Roll a d6.
Roll the 100. You're dead. Oh, what?
Yeah, rocks fall, you die.
You triggered your own trap.
Yeah. And Shump walks over the line and triggers
4
the trap.
times.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
I mean, he's half orc, so
no,
he has to be 8 times.
8 times, yeah. He just like
Jump Hastings impatiently.
yeah, he gets impatient and just starts jumping over the line, one foot to the other, triggers it. Yeah, you find over the course of your journey this day, you find 3 suitable spots. One where it zigzags up a little ways, and another where it narrows into a single file location. And with the help of the hill giant, you would be able to assemble some rocks at the top of this sharper wall on one side.
I'm thinking the zigzag is probably the most ideal, most targets.
There is also the third location you find is a bit of a combination between the two. It zigzags like only like a couple of times, and it's fairly single file. It's almost like the rock has been hacked away at to form enough footholds for someone to walk up on the path.
Let's go for the first one, and if I feel that I can endure it, the last one also. It will all depend on how much of a toll this takes upon me.
Okay.
So, the first one, he begins the casting and holds the coin. As the spell takes effect and the glyph shimmers for a while.
Now it would be very mean to counterspell you.
Kothar visibly pales and almost buckles a bit and catches himself. Oh dear, that hurt. Calculator and a notepad to remember what my actual hit point maximum is, because it's significantly lower now.
Oh, 1 second, I actually forgot to put my health on full in this morning.
Yes, and spells if you used any.
Yep. No, I actually used already the mage armor the morning.
Aha. 20. Oh. Okay. Okay, let's...
I'm actually curious what your health is at now.
That took just over a third reduction, and it's a gamble that I really hope pays off, which is why I'm going to also go for the second one at the third location. They'll probably be a bit cautious on the second location after the first incident. So, coin in hand, looking a bit in trepidation as he's casting. God damn it. Ow. He is visibly pale and sagging.
I can't heal you.
Nope,
I
nobody
can't
can.
heal you.
Nobody can.
Hit point maximum reduced.
I'm literally built around healing and smacking shit. Can't do shit.
Is it permanently reduced?
No. Until a long rest. So let's not engage in unnecessary combat, okay? You can see just Kota just...
You sneak past any creatures or beings that would like to harm you. Meanwhile,
Yes.
a hill giant stomps away along this path.
Okay, notes are made. Ow.
Who's in the lead? Is it from you guys?
Roherden and Shump were being, or Roherden was guiding
Dragging
Shump
me.
ahead.
Yeah.
Dragging.
So Roherden is in front.
Okay. Roherden, why don't you roll a d20?
You're dead.
$17.
Okay. Shump, why don't you roll a d20 as well?
$12.
Okay. Both of you make perception checks.
I am definitely on my mount.
Okay. So, Shump, as you keep going and like pause for a moment a couple of times as Kothar is casting his magic in these very in these specific spots to maximize damage. Although
To kobolds.
you don't know this. Yeah, it's kobolds, right? You see in the rocks ahead, there is this little bit of a ledge that you have to climb over before the path continues ahead, and you see this red-skinned lizard-like creature scramble away from the rocks on the ledge, and its little wings like flap a couple of times, and it flies skimming the ground towards the direction you are heading for.
So I see a lizard.
With wings.
It looks like
With
a
wings.
small red-skinned lizard man with wings. Yeah. The head resembles
Did you see
kind
that?
of draconic features.
Roherden, did you see that? Do you see that?
I guess it's
See what?
still running towards me.
No, it's
No,
it's
away.
heading away from you.
Okay.
The thing on the rocks. Little red lizard man with wings. On the rocks. You didn't see that? It was right there, Roherden.
I think your withdrawal symptoms may be worse than we initially thought.
Holy shit, I think you're right. Well, at least it's small lizard men and not elf grog that I'm seeing.
Not sure if that's a step up or a step down.
Or a step into the grave.
I think we share that same thought. I'm not sure if I should be afraid or not. Well,
Oh, well,
let's just
let's keep going.
on. Yeah, let's keep going and see if it comes back.
Tell me sooner next time if you see it.
You will see Kothar is he's going to purely focus on just keeping his footing and keeping the mount stable. So he'll ask Ninyak to do the looking around for danger for him.
Okay, sure.
Seeing as how he's a bit reduced, you can probably by now see just bags under his eyes and
You have like a faint color of skin and dark circles around your eyes and like
let's
harsh
just say
lips.
I have a quarter left of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I
Jump roll
will-
a d4 plus 2. Okay. Go on.
I will keep an eye out for Kothar since he seems so weak.
Sure.
So kind
Hear
of try to
wheezing.
actively check that things won't. Things won't try and attack or kind of check out the area.
Higher
As I
alert.
approach. Yeah.
Okay, good.
You must be thankful for you being high elf because
He's definitely trying to hold his head up and chin straight, but you can hear the wheezing and just.
I'm not sick.
I promise.
This coin will be the death of me.
I
So,
nod.
Niniak and Quelena, you can make perception checks as well as you keep going.
Okay.
Shump and Rohirden make perception checks again with advantage.
Advantage.
Advantage. I'm guessing Niniak also gets advantage.
Yes, it's sight-based.
Sight, hearing, or smell. And rolling as Niniak. Boop.
Okay.
What's up with the rolls?
It helps to have advantage.
What rolls? What do you mean?
2 and 16.
That's not what I was aiming for, but that has me startled.
Okay, so
By the way, Kothar, check out your rolls. You had a 2 and a 16.
Yes, I'm glad he had advantage on that.
Yeah.
I had a 15 and an 18.
I had a 17.
very nice
Well,
for
14
you.
plus 3.
So you all see a group of red flashes in the rocks ahead of you as you continue on your way. This is about 20 minutes, 30 minutes from the sighting you had, Shump, of this lizard man flying away. You see
Are
this
they
red.
moving away or towards us?
Away.
They are actually moving laterally.
Stalking.
So you see these red flashes behind some rocks ahead of you, and then you don't see them for just a moment. Niniak can see them a little better. See they are like gathering up ahead. And as you get
I will want to kind of warn Kothar that we might have some company.
yeah. So
I'll
as you
pull my
like
glaive out.
yeah, as you like hesitate and prepare, they immediately take to the skies, and you see 5 winged bipedal small creatures with draconic-like heads and scaled bodies. And they
Can
all...
I try to recognize it?
Yeah.
What do I need to roll?
My
History
withdrawals are getting
or
worse.
nature.
History or nature?
All of them carry rocks with them as they climb up into the sky. Quelena, these are kobolds. They are specifically winged kobolds.
Well, we were trying to hunt them.
Yeah. Everybody roll initiative. Hold on, you don't have tokens prepared, so go there.
Ba-ba. I will not be using the hand axe because I'm not attuned to it, and that would be pointless at this point.
You could have taken the night to attune to it.
Yes, you could have.
I didn't think of that.
That's
Also, I'm not
usually
sure
when
if the
attuning happens.
I also not sure if I put the DC roll in properly, so we'll ignore that, Janessa.
Yes, I'm sure it won't. A ranged weapon won't come in handy here.
I've got knives and javelins, it's fine.
Initiative. There.
I've completely lost initiative. There's... You're tempted to roll without selecting it.
Yes, you have to select the token, man.
Wow.
Good lord, man.
Actually, that's better than my recent initiative rolls. They've all been like 3 and 5 and 1. So 13 is a big step up.
7. Then
I accidentally rolled with initiative, but it's the first roll that won anyway, so... No, with advantage on the initiative, but it's still the first of them.
and
Do I know anything about if they're resistant to fire from my roll?
kobolds.
Yes. I mean, because they seem red and draconic, so.
Kobolds, they are said, at least they consider themselves inheritors of dragons. However, they don't possess draconic traits as it is. So, don't.
So I don't think they have it.
Yeah, probably don't have.
Okay.
So.
Alrighty.
There's so many sheets open right now. Holy shit.
Holy shit.
Holy shit. Shall treat Deer Blaster as a mount.
Blaster is a mount?
Okay.
I don't think it's nice. I mean, you should treat him equally. Just kidding.
I need to roll initiative for my mount, don't I?
Unless if you want to get off your mount, yes. But otherwise,
Okay, I'll be staying on it
it'll
just now.
move on your turn.
It'll move as I move.
So
How far away are they, though?
we go. So
How far away are they from us?
the kobolds right now are 200 feet away from you, and like 10 feet off the ground. And they are coming towards you. This is not a surprise
before
round
that.
since you can see them.
Since we did spot them.
Yes. So
I will use a
Maniac will go
spell.
first.
Yeah. There's a spell, which is funny.
Yeah, Niniak is... I don't know why I rolled initiative for it right now. He's going to be on my shoulders, but if he detaches, that's his initiative. Or I can re-roll it, doesn't matter.
Okay.
For now, he's going to stay with me.
Sure.
Oh, it's me then? I'll just ready a firebolt for one of them actually gets within range.
Sure.
I
So the
will.
trigger is as soon as they are within range, you're gonna fire at them.
As soon as a flying kobold is within range, yes, I will fire.
Okay. Perfect. Kolana.
So they're not yet in range, I'm guessing.
Not quite, no.
I will.
Depends.
How many of them are there?
5.
Okay, so no need to stress it. I will ready a chill touch if they get close enough,
Okay.
because it's 120 feet, so maybe.
It's firebolt 2, isn't it?
I think so.
Firebolt 120 feet. Yes.
I have marked 5 winged kobolds in which
How do
you
they
guys,
attack,
so
by
you
the
can-
way? What do I know about them? I mean, regarding attacks.
Attacks? You know that kobolds are known as trap makers and ambushers. As far as weapons, they tend to favor spears, very crude spears and javelins.
Though most of these you said had stones.
Yes, these have like very nice looking stones that they aim to carry into the sky and drop on you. Rohithan.
Yes. I'm ahead of everyone. I'll ready an attack for when they come in range.
Okay.
With my glaive. Assuming they actually come within range of the glaive.
Okay, sure. So the winged kobolds, all of them flying just off the ground, take the dash action and climb slightly further into the air. Or they, what is their flight speed? Yeah, they get 60 feet closer, so they are within 140 feet of you.
Yep.
Okay.
They are like coming slightly at a rising angle, so it looks almost like they're doing a coordinated bombing run on you and aiming to climb up into the air just off your melee range and drop these stones on you.
Wow. Let's see what he does. And Shamp does.
You see your friendly neighborhood gnome shout "Hi!" to the kobolds. Then he tries it again in Dwarven, and then in Gnomish, then in Elven. Then he
really knows the languages.
Yeah. Then he gives up and has his blaster march off towards the kobolds.
If nothing works, let's walk to them.
Yes. Champ.
I'll just ready my Corpatius because I can't throw that far.
Okay. Sure.
I'll actually, since it's a new round, what was the range of this again? It's in elemental evil, and it's up at sea. Is there a loose, sizable stone pebble somewhere within 150 feet that will combine into 90 feet to hit them?
You're in the mountains, yes.
Yes.
This whole place is made out of pebbles and rocks and whatever.
You see somewhere in the distance as Kothar is doing some hand wiggly movements, and then he just clicks something invisible, and you just see a pebble somewhere fly off towards them. Where's the spell? Boom.
Catapult.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll aim for the leader of the bombing run.
Okay. Well, I'll actually move this around a little bit to fit the actual angle they're coming at you as.
Perfect.
Yeah. They're not quite as close to one another, but you get the idea.
Cue Flight of the Valkyries.
Yeah. Absolutely. I can probably actually find it here. Hold on. Flight of the Valkyries. Yeah. There it is.
I'm just gonna unmute the stream now.
Now you can hear it in roll 20, I think.
Yes.
Yes.
Torm,
Okay.
take notes. You have a sound box. Make use of it.
So, yes, it needs to make a dexterity saving throw. For 12, it fails. Your rock just kind of suddenly shoots up from the rocky hillside or mountainside and slams directly into the kobold. It hits the kobold in the face and instantly knocks it to the ground. It like topples down from the air and does that like spinning move, like a TIE fighter crashing
Yeah,
into
the death tumble.
Yeah, it tumbles and curls on the ground as it comes towards you. Yeah.
Eject!
Its wings burst off with flame as it explodes.
You hear Wilhelm scream.
Mayday, this is Kobold 1. Kobold 1, we're going down.
Red leader, red leader, calm down.
A Wilhelm scream as it
copy.
hits the ground.
Quelena.
Yes. Well, I will move 20 feet towards them. And then I will cast my Chill Touch.
Okay.
So I can actually reach them.
Let's see if suddenly a ethereal hand chokes one out. Oh.
Ooh.
Hello.
The question is it a slap or a choke?
It's I want my hand to kind of caress it.
Okay.
Pretty birdie.
This
Just relax.
this ethereal hand just like rakes it across the belly as it keeps flying, and suddenly it just goes completely rigid for a moment and like dips down a little bit, but it's still flying.
Okay.
I was kind of picturing the Dumb and Dumber scene where they give the kid the decapitated budgie.
Rohedden, they're still not in your range, but
How far were they? 40, you said?
Yeah, somewhere around there. You would be able to get closer to them if you wanted to, but it would still not be within your range. Actually, you have mounts, so you would be able to just kind of rush them.
Yeah. What's the amount of speed?
I think your mount has 60.
Yeah. So I could get in range. Not actually, I wouldn't get in range. I'll move the 60 feet towards them.
Okay. And have your glaive at the ready.
I have my glaive at the ready.
Okay. The kobold flight comes towards you and breaks towards the sky as they get close to you, Rohirden. Like just within 20 feet of you, and climb into the sky and let the rocks go.
Bomber one. Bombs away, buddy.
1, 2, 3, 4.
First misses. Next 3 hit.
Okay, what's your AC?
17.
Okay, so 3 hit. A 9, a 8, and a 5.
So a bunch of pebbles just plink off his blade field, just ding, 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 ow!
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's... Why am I doing it like that? Fuck. Okay, why am I jumping over there? No.
And they are coursing towards the rest of you, rearming basically.
Banking.
Yeah. They're less like banking and more like dipping just back down onto an attack trajectory once they get over Rohirden.
Yeah, I masked that correctly.
Harryhouse is going to let's see. It's going to he's going to magic missile.
Oh. That's a woofer. It's almost a subwoofer.
It's a brick.
A bork.
And now it's a wind.
Didn't actually roll a damage for it. Oh well. 1d4 plus 1. We'll do it manually.
Yay!
1, 2, and 3. So one crashes into the one that Qualena grazed. The first one hits it, and that one. These magic missiles look like flak fire as they course through the sky and then burst as they collide. The wounded one that's already like going a little shaky and wobbly smashes down into the rocky ground. The next one.
I was just trying to tickle him. I wasn't trying to kill him.
The next one, the next two also burst against another of these kobolds and bring that one down as well.
That is, I'm guessing now they will turn on deflector shields. Finally figuring out there's fire in front of them.
Set X foils on attack position. Or S foils it is. Champ.
How close were they?
Right now they are they would be 110 from you as they attacked. But you are able to ride up since you have a horse.
Yes.
The horse will be able to get to them without any problem.
Okay. So I could ride up, say within 60 feet?
You would be able to get almost right to them. You would be able to get into melee range. Your mount can take the dash action.
Okay,
and
so
you would still be able to attack afterwards.
Cool. Then I would attack the one of the two left alive with my frost.
Sure.
So one swing with my frost towards that motherfucker. What happened? Why doesn't it show anything?
It broke him.
Because duh. Okay, like that. Did I even hit it?
Melee spell attack?
11.
I don't even know what the fuck that is all about.
Well, I mean, you rolled a 2, so...
Yeah. I mean, everything else is set correctly, so I think you've just not put it in the equipment slot and instead use spell slots or something.
I have no idea.
Or...
It seems like it's in the inventory thingy, but it's not. Something is weird over here, dudes. But I will do something else too. I will shout at
11 does not.
No. I will shout at Kothar.
You look pale. Get your ass together.
And then he gains 5 temporary hit points.
From such a rousing, inspirational speech.
Yes. Basically. Do I have another swing with my bite, actually? Because I have 2 attack rolls and 1 bonus, right?
Yeah, you have 2 attack rolls, I think.
2 attacks.
2 attacks with frost and 1 with bite.
Let's just forget.
Yeah, see, bite is put as a weapon attack, so I think you've just selected the wrong thing somewhere in frost.
Yeah, but frost only says frost. Then there's no wait. I'll fix that right now. It says weapon attack for some reason. Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. So it hits, but it doesn't kill it.
Just tickles it.
Bite hits one of the kobolds. It sinks and slashes into the a deep gash, but it's not dead.
Of course, of course.
You might have noticed that bite, being an offhand weapon, is a bit weak in the damage compartment.
Yes.
Might I suggest investing in the dual wielder feat that lets you add your strength modifier and proficiency stuff to your offhand swings as well.
I shall definitely look into this.
Okay. Anything else? Nope. Kothar.
Well, now that we're within the 120 feet radius, I'm just going to start launching firebolts at them. Pew!
Please don't
dear.
miss.
I missed.
10 misses.
Oh well.
So
I mean,
Anything else?
but the majority of flak doesn't hit, so...
Yeah, it like bursts right next to one. The careen is just off and returns into attack position.
So how close are they now?
They should be 110 from you. Unless
So-
you moved forward, of course.
No, I will
From
actually.
your original position there, 110.
I will cast another chill touch on another one because the first one crashed, and I tried to tickle the first, and he didn't last. Sadly.
18 hits.
Yay!
Oh, that...
Did I tickle him well?
Yes, that one is tickled so well that it goes completely rigid, and then like dips straight down towards the ground, and like skims its belly on the rocky surface before it suddenly like veers to one wing. The wing gets ripped off, and it like starts tumbling over and over.
I
Blood
would like
spraying.
then after this I would like to move my 30 feet back.
Okay, sure.
And that's my round.
Rohan,
Oh, 60 feet.
you can
Where are
catch
they
the one
taking-
that's they're like almost directly behind you. Only like they should be like 10 feet away from you. Just
Cool, I
about.
can hit it. Cool, I can hit it. I'm gonna...
Kothar hasn't moved at all, by the way. He's just sitting there, just flicking.
Yeah.
Glaive attack.
16 hits or 11. So how does the final one die?
Oh. Gonna cleave it straight in half,
Okay.
lengthwise.
Sure.
Not vertically, horizontally.
Sure. So this kobold has like just finished a bombing run on you, goes up high, returns behind you, only to first get slashed at by Shump, and then you like just twirl around and bring your glaive straight down. It splits in half and continues flying for just a moment before it then breaks apart in two, and like both sides tumble down. Like they roll just past Kothar before stopping.
Either side of them.
Yeah.
Show off.
That fucker threw stones at me. Those hurt.
How long does the temporary health last, by the way? Jump.
Until you lose them, actually. They're just like a buffer they're on buffer upon your regular hit points. So if you lose 8 points, you only lose 3 of your
Yeah, but
standard
I'm more thinking that usually those have
Timer.
they're gone by the
They
morning.
didn't say anything about that at all.
Oh, that's unusual.
Yeah,
That's
I was looking
I would- I would
for
assume-
that.
I would assume it would be after a long rest.
Is it the Battlemaster thing?
Yeah, Battlemaster and then Rally.
Oh. Rallying attack. Yeah, that. Wow.
That's actually permanent.
And it doesn't actually say that it
badass.
doesn't stack, because every time I've seen temporary hit point spells and such, it clearly states that it doesn't stack with itself and also others, and also is gone after the day. So this is the only one. Jesus,
I'm
that's strong.
curious. This
Then
should
my
be the one-
D8s turn to D10s and D12s after I'm leveled.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's the one I've got.
Let's just say it's a 50% upgrade from what I had. Oh. This is...
Well,
that's what I started with. That's my level 1 starting health.
I
Wait,
do
you have
have
10
gentle
hits each.
repose. You can die.
Yeah,
I-
I would prefer not to. I'm not
I
to.
mean, I have some fun little abilities to do with healing, so if you get close to dying,
Okay. So the kobolds are dealt with.
ignore the heroism thing. I was just checking something.
So
Now, where's the dragon?
Don't give him ideas.
So-
He probably
Oh,
already has.
Had that ID long ago. Those airships are really dragons in disguise.
you wish.
Uh,
So as you pass by these kobold corpses, you take notice that they are all wearing nothing but loincloths, and the loincloths have a pocket in the center where they kept their bombing stones, and there are these very finely made silver pair of wings pinned to each loincloth, like in a very specific location. It
Oh, what?
has
Sorry?
a set of wings.
Okay.
Silver pin.
Yeah, a silver pin with wings. It almost looks like a military pin, like the parachutists of the U.S. Army.
I'd mage hand one of them up and inspect it.
Sure.
I would also pick one up.
Pin.
speak Draconic?
How's? I actually do.
Okay, so
I do also.
yep, you pick one up and inspect it. On the backside is scratched in in Draconic script, year class of 1499.
.317th Kobold in Bombering Division. The Flying Honey Badgers. How's the fastening method?
It's like one of those pins that you can unhook, like cloth pins.
Safety pins.
Yeah, safety pins.
I'll just look at it and I'll look at Niniak for a moment. It's like,
No.
one day you'll earn these wings.
The Niniak shakes its head.
Don't worry. I won't give you some lousy kobolds fallen wings. I'll get you your own
It
wings.
flutters its wings. You hear its voice go inside your head. I have my own.
Think of it more as a commendation. A acknowledgement of greatness. Oh well. for another time. Shall we continue our travel? I'm eager to set camp. Hopefully there won't be any other squadrons assaulting us. Might I suggest the advance guard keep a close eye on the skies?
Yep.
Yes, I'm looking at you, Seb.
You want me to stand guard and just watch for stuff?
Oh, just keep your eyes open. We know that they're bombing runs.
I'll keep my eyes open.
So, you continue on your way. You see Master Crumplebottom Harryhouse specifically, like, very excitedly wiggling in his little backpack attached to the back of Blaster's neck. He turns around to look at you as you continue and goes, "Well, that was very exciting, wasn't it?"
Quite so.
As we're traveling, I want to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay. You can do that.
Cure minor scratches.
Yeah, minor scratches.
While you're casting Cure Wounds, the gnome turns to you and says, "You know, you'd make a very nice bell. You had a nice ringing sound when those rocks hit you." And then he gives you both thumbs up.
I'll keep that in mind for a future career choice. For now, let's get you your tower back.
Sure. So, you slowly make your way along the mountainside until you reach a point where the night falls and it's almost impossible to see where you're stepping, making it far too hazardous to keep going. So you set up for the night. While you're setting up, your gnomish guide is like standing on Blaster's head and like licks his finger and points it up to the sky, just like looks around, sniffs the air. He looks like he knows exactly what he's doing. And then he turns to whoever is closest to him and just murmurs, "We're in the mountains, all right."
I kind of look at him and look like to the side, to the the downward path, and kind of look back at him and say, "Yes, definitely."
An
Did you
astute
get
observation.
paid for this before, or is this your first guide?
No, I'm not usually a tourist guide.
Okay, very good. You are very astute, as Kothar is mentioning.
Thank you. I'd know this mountain air anywhere.
I salute you, good sir. Mighty found mountains.
My voice kind of fucked me up there.
So, no late night yodeling?
I'm just going to
Sure,
look
Shump?
at the gnome.
You sure, Shump? I mean, you are a performer. You could.
I could, but I choose to preserve the avalanches, as one might say. Because we have a DM that is very fond of rock falls, you die, and I could go for a critical fail.
You meanwhile hear the hill giant just going like,
It's he has a phone on vibrate.
Yodele.
You see his cheeks just.
Yodele.
Don't blaster. He's not smart. It's very bad. Bad.
Yodele. He looks
Somewhere
very,
you
he
hear
looks very
mountain
sad.
goats.
So,
Very well then.
are you setting what? Are you setting watch for the night?
Probably the standard rotation of me, Kothar, Chump, then Polana.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Master Crumplebottom Harry House is very pleased at this.
I put an
Yes.
alarm.
I'm sure he.
Polana's watch is literally place alarm, go back to sleep.
And I place also in my bubble. And ask if anyone wants to join in.
Yes, Kothar will actually, without objection.
Yay! I will put it in pink, bright pink.
I look at the ogre kind of start to yodel and I go,
Hey, heel giant. What an ogre.
Pale giant. Okay, pale giant.
It's a big difference. It's literally a big difference.
Anyway. And I'll go, actually, yes. Go into the hut.
Jump. You staying out?
After my watch, obviously, because I'm on first
I'll
watch.
stay outside of that goddamn hut for as long as I can. I can also kind of make my own little hut soon.
Okay. So,
Yes, I also can make Liamon's hut very soon.
So you're not pitching a tent?
Well, in other means.
so
It's a problem 24/7.
the first watch goes by uneventfully. Second watch, you hear a rumbling noise from very close by to your camp. And then observe as Blaster turns from one side to the other and lets out one of the loudest farts you have ever witnessed.
The smell is just amazing.
Well,
you hear like
It's the
little
second watch, we're
pebbles
inside.
fall down the mountainside and roll past the campsite. Blaster seems very satisfied about that air getting out.
I think he's living up to his name.
Yep.
I wonder what his projectile potential is from that.
You don't want to know. Third watch, that would be Shump, I guess.
Yep.
There's a ledge nearby your campsite where it drops down up just like 60 feet or so before it slopes down again. And you hear some scratching and rocks scattering about in that direction.
Who goes there? I'm vigilant.
I should probably go over there and see what that is.
There's
all about.
only the noise of more rocks like falling down the slope below the ledge.
I'm gonna just ready my kopeshes and just not go over there, but I will face that direction and be vigilant.
Okay, so you peer.
I can hear you.
So you peer into the darkness and stare at this ledge, and you hear the noises of something or someone scrambling up the ledge. And then you see a head pop up of a mountain goat. And it like turn... Hold on.
Did what I just think happened?
Well, it depends what you thought.
Did something just headshot a mountain goat?
That is one fucking headshot, yes.
Okay, so the mountain goat's head like pops up, and it it like barely manages to turn to look in your direction, Shump, when this dart just like immediately leaves your hand and smashes directly into the goat's head, drilling through the eye. You hear the pop of the eyeball, and then a crunch as the dart sinks into the brain of the goat. There's no sound that comes out of it. It just like disappears off the ledge. And a while later, you hear the sound of something heavy rolling down the mountainside below.
Shump will just keep staring at the ledge and just softly say to himself,
Told you I was vigilant. Muscle
A bit too
memory.
vigilant. That's one dead goat.
Yep.
Now,
Rest in
how much
peace.
is he going to embellish that story in the morning?
There were
"You have
10
no
goats.
idea."
Demon goats.
A minotaur attacked the camp while you were asleep. It had the head of a goat.
The rest of the night goes by uneventfully.
Aw. I don't get anything.
The morning arrives to the sound of carrion birds pecking at something further down the mountainside. They're like flocking.
But we can't
like,
see what it is, right?
It's like against some rocks and down a ledge. It's hard to see what it is. The carrion birds have also been very thorough already, so like you can just see like a red smear, basically.
Can we see the dart?
No.
But
Ah.
there is blood on the ledge, right?
On the ledge, yeah, there's a little bit of spray, and there's like there's a part of the eyeball still there, like just the lens or something.
You guys are lucky to be alive. Thank the gods that I was on watch, because last night I killed something with horns coming up to eat us. There is blood, but I killed it. That is the evidence. Look right there.
We are fortunate to have such a vigilant and astute guardsman.
I would like to roll a perception shot, try to figure out what that is.
Down the mountainside. Sure.
God damn it.
You
I
can roll
rolled something
perception
too.
checks.
Okay. I'm probably blind as a bat.
Are you doubting me, Colonel?
So
Well, actually, all you see me is looking at it. I mean,
yeah.
Take my word for it. It was huge.
I'll lean towards Kothar and whisper, any chance your little friend there could go check what he actually killed?
You can see down below, Quelena.
I'm not going down there.
You can see a corpse surrounded by carrion birds. Like that's about it. And there's like blood everywhere and bits of hide and bones sticking out. But it's hard to tell what it is.
I mean, it's dead. Why would I need to check what's dead? It's dead.
What is dead can never come back.
Well, I mean, technically.
Well, yeah, but let's not go into the specifics. I killed it. It won't come back.
For now.
Meanwhile, from behind you, you already hear, "Giddy up!"
We should leave.
I guess that's our
before
cue.
another one comes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your stomping foot.
Oh, I
Real
will
question
cast
is-
mage armor when we. Oh, it's not morning. Sorry, never mind.
It is.
It is.
It is. Oh,
Yep.
what?
That counts as a long rest.
Yes.
Yep.
That's
Oh,
one
right.
rest.
I get that. I get that. Oh,
So
I'd like
I cast
to-
another mage armor on myself.
And I'd like to see if I could find a vantage point to scout down the hillside from where we came from to see if I can see the warband moving up.
From where you are, you would know that you can't really see them. The mountains have turned, kind of. So it's like the mountains are in your way.
Okay. Yes. Well, we can only hope that they're alive and well.
The kobolds probably
Yes,
have.
we definitely need their help later on.
Yes.
We help we help them with the kobolds so they won't be attacked.
And also, you put up traps for the kobolds, so that
Yes.
there's no more Yes.
Mhm.
They'll be fine. We will rendezvous with them when it's time to kill.
Yes. Very well. Let's be on our merry way.
Are you still looking for more places for traps?
This is the day, isn't it, where we are likely to find the tower?
Likely, yeah. But probably at the end of the day, you will get first glimpse of it.
Well, we really should be careful now because
Yeah.
they might actually sight us before we see them.
And I'm not going to risk entering a early ambush.
I would
So-
suggest we move a bit. I mean, we stop a bit before we reach it.
Yeah. I'll be keeping an extra eye open, just being prepared for any potential ambushes. I mean, this is soon their territory, and they have free reign of the air, so I expect them around any corner,
Okay.
or above any corner, for that matter.
Okay. So,
Um,
so you move carefully and keep an eye out on what lies ahead and around you as you keep moving. About 2 or 3 hours from leaving your campsite, you see in the distance towards the east, like directly to your east, you see an airship appear from between some mountain peaks, and it is like making a climb up into the clouds. It's far enough that you can see it like in the distance, but it's unlikely that it would be able to see you.
I will quickly be right back. Tiny bladder.
Would it be possible to actually attack it?
No, probably not with anything you have. At least, it's like a small silhouette in the distance.
Yeah, but if I were to cast invisibility on myself and the horse to get close enough, you said it's between. So there's no way to predict where it'll pass by, so I can get a clear shot at the balloon.
Yeah, like you would have to travel like most of the day to reach within distance of it.
Ah, that far.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
in the distance.
Real question is it reasonable to assume that they have like spyglasses or stuff?
That is quite likely. Most ships do. Airships shouldn't be any different. However, you make a very tiny dot in the mountainside, so they would definitely have to be either very lucky to see you or know exactly where you are.
Do we want to proceed stealthily or do we want to ride normally?
However, the orcs might be a different matter.
We could actually try to hide and let the orcs bypass us.
Yes. Though I would be more comfortable waiting for the orc assault to begin if we are close, so that I can go in by invisibility, for example, and do a bit of scouting around while they're distracted by the orc assault.
Well, once they pass us, you can stealth and approach.
Yes, then I would have to.
You have the
Tower
cover
is
of them.
still far from us, isn't it?
The orcs? Or
The tower.
The tower? The tower should be like a day's journey away from you, so
Because I'd like to be within half an hour of the tower.
Well, half an hour of the tower might actually be in sight of them. I mean,
Yes.
they might see you in that regard.
We might be able to find an approach towards it that.
I would
Work.
assume the gnome would know an approach where they wouldn't see us.
Yes, Master Gnome. What do you say, Mr. Crumplebottom?
No. I will take you up the road.
And there's no side paths that could get us unseen closer.
If you want to clamber up the mountain, I plan on going up the road. Knock down the door. Straight on. Yes.
Would I know you speak Draconic?
Yes, we have adventured together
yes.
before starting this adventure, so.
So I will tell you in Draconic after noticing that the gnome speaks in Elven. We could use him as cover.
I would be much more inclined to wait for the orcs.
Yes, but he's in a hurry to go anywhere.
Master Crumplebottom, would you mind waiting for the orcs at least before knocking down the door?
If I must.
You must.
That would be ideal.
But you said you would help me take my home back, and I will
We
hold
will.
you to that.
That we will. And,
I made no such promise.
I'll enforce the promise upon the others. Don't worry. My concern is, why would you saunter up to your tower and brave all those defenses that they might have put in place?
It's my tower.
Yes, and they've had some time to live there now. They could have set up some nasty traps.
It's
think
my
of-
tower, though.
Think of Blaster. What if he steps on a needle? Very big one. That would actually hurt him. Let the orcs step on that needle for you instead. I assure you, the orcs won't be a problem for long.
What happens if
Counterpoint?
Hmm?
It's my tower.
counterpoint to your counterpoint? Whose tower does it belong? Who does the tower belong to if you die trying to retake the tower?
He scratches his beard for a moment, then reaches inside his robe and takes out this like very thick bundle of paper that he then unfurls into this like 12-meter long piece of paper.
I had to ask.
And he starts like scrolling through it. I shall be with you in a moment. And he keeps going through it.
I had to ask.
Gnomes and their paperwork.
I've just discovered I am getting black pudding after the session.
That's racist.
Blood sausage.
It's
Call
That's
it
sexist.
call
It's
it a
midnight for you.
colored pudding, so it won't be racist.
I mean, you had one cider and you're already hankering for a blood pudding in the middle of the night. That's like after like a whole night of partying.
I would be hankering for it regardless of the cider or not.
Well, I mean, it's at least it's not elf grog.
I was going to say, at least it's not elf grog.
Do you keep badgering Master Crumplebottom Harryhouse with more questions?
I'm waiting on him finding out who the tower would belong to if he died.
Yeah, he's going through the
Yeah,
paperwork.
while he's doing that, do we want to assault it with him, or do we want to assault when the orcs arrive? What do the rest of you think?
We have no idea how many cultists are there.
Exactly. He
I
wants
would-
to stomp down the door. I could provide some invisibility.
Ideally, we let the orcs take the brunt of the cultist attack. Or
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think we should run into it.
and then does Shump speak Dwarven? Fuck. Never mind.
Well, I mean, I don't think anyone but you speak Dwarven. Crumple Bottom does.
So
Never
your
mind.
plan wouldn't work anyhow.
The issue was going to be leading towards something else.
Okay. So So you keep moving and discussing your plan of action. About an hour later, you hear an "Aha! I found it. It is going to my second cousin's second-born son."
I see.
And then he starts folding up the paperwork again.
So you're very confident that you can just ride up and knock on the door and evict all these cultists on your own
No,
with Lester.
with your help.
Even with our help, you are confident that we can do that instead of a minor orc warband.
Yes. Just don't touch my stuff.
Uh,
It belongs to Inquiry Tower.
TM.
I'm impressed at his confidence in us. He seems to think we can take out a small army. Potentially.
Well, he saw what happened to the potential dragon at our campsite.
How many cultists did we estimate would be there approximately? I think we said there was a number involved, something with approximate for crews and ground crew.
Yeah, I
There
think
was a number.
You made some sort of approximations.
It was a dozen ships. I think we approximated about 8 to 10 people per ship. Just to run the ship. Minimum
As long as
crew.
we get inside the building, we should be able to handle it.
And
Quelana, do you have any means of invisibility?
No, I have blur, but I
scare
could
them
create
out.
an illusion.
We want to not be seen stomping
Well-
in there.
I can appear friendly.
I can actually. Well, we don't actually know what is in there, so.
Because I have friends in my mark.
Sure.
I can alter self.
Okay, that's just a little bit better. Show up.
I can command someone to ignore us.
Tell you what, let's do it.
These are not the adventures you're looking for.
Are we
not
just
the adventures
attacking,
you're looking for.
basically, now?
I don't think it's a good
You're
idea.
not even
we
within
have
range of
elves.
the tower yet.
When we get within range, are
Are
we attacking?
Just picturing Shump preparing to charge up, yelling Leroy from where we are now all the way to the tower.
For a full day.
The first person he sees, then he finishes it. The first enemy he gets in range of.
Mr. Crumblebottom, you said you had left a surprise for them. In the tower. There was something they would have to deal with there.
Yes.
What? How confident are you in it?
Quite confident.
What about the rest of the tower?
What about it?
Are you confident in, or do you have many defenses in place? Many
No.
traps?
It's
How-
it's 4 stories. Central spiral staircase going up.
How defensible is it?
Not at all.
Well, I mean, that works in our advantage.
It's a
Exchange
workshop.
jurisdiction.
I've built it as a workshop, and it is a workshop. It's not a watchtower or a defensive tower or anything else. It's a tower of tinkering.
A siege tower.
Do
I
not want people from...
I have a feeling that might be one of the reasons why they managed to get you out of it.
They came from the sky. That was not fair. They did not knock.
Any proper siege tower or
I am the one
Maybe
who
they
knocked.
knocked from the air.
would have air defenses. Maybe you
What?
should consider tinkering up some cannons
Binoculars.
for the air. I hear shrapnel is very in fashion these days.
I
I'm
could
sure there's
instead.
lots
I could make a clockwork sling mechanism that slings a pot in the sky that bursts and spreads shrapnel.
Yes,
Yes.
those
I'm sure
balloons would
This-
go pop quickly.
And if I made it properly clockwork, I might be able to even make it repeating. Now there's an idea.
Now think legs. Portable. Why would you need more than
No.
one? You could just have legs on
why
it.
would you put legs on something like that?
So you can walk around and do it.
I do not want. Why would you want a walking defensive
construct.
sling when you can mount it on your tower?
Because
This makes no sense.
the
I am
best
done with you.
defense
And he turns around.
is sadly a good offense. Oh, well. The real question is, does he charge ahead? Or rather, begin riding
not
off?
any more than usual.
Usual.
Blaster keeps stomping up ahead.
I guess we follow along.
So, yeah. About an hour later, you see another ship in the far distance. It as well heading away from the mountains.
It would seem that the majority of ships are out patrolling, so...
Not sure that they are patrolling. They might be just leaving.
Or looking for something. Or resupplying. Having a base of operations this far up in the mountains must...
Well, it might also be just a place they had to deliver it. I mean, who says that it's them that is guarding it?
Screw it. I say we go with Mr. Crumplebottom and attack it.
I'm against.
I don't blame you,
Oh,
but it is a hill giant, and it is the owner of a tinkering workshop who claims he has some measure inside it.
Let me put it in other words. After he takes over that tower, what will happen is that orcs will be right behind us, and
Friendly
we will
orcs,
be in
of
there.
course.
And I don't wish to sound not nice to Shump, but orcs are the kind of shoot first, ask questions later.
Not these types. These are
We'll
our
have-
friends.
We'll have
We
Shump
talked
wait
to them.
outside for them.
I will kind of look at Shump and say, Elven Grog,
Well, that is a different subject altogether. They're not up here to drink elves. They're up here to help us.
well, maybe they just want human Grog this time.
Yeah, I could totally go behind that.
I'll tell Qualana in Elvish, though. We will have the wood elves hounding them, and hopefully my traps have had some use.
We could always have Shump
Do
wait
you trust
outside to
the
greet them.
Do you trust the wood elves to actually keep to the bargain? And actually,
More than I trust the orcs.
are you sure?
You
That was funny.
just
You're muted.
disappeared.
It's karma, Colena. You're still talking, but nobody could hear you. Karma. What
batteries.
the fuck was that?
Hello.
Hello.
Did anyone hear that?
Hi.
Bing.
Yes. Go. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Where was I cut off? I don't know.
Well, you were not trusting the orcs.
Yeah, and also I wish to say that are you sure they will actually let us take the object? The wood elves.
Remember, Kothar, this is out of this thing, but we
No,
actually
because-
told them we wanted the rock, and you were there.
Actually, the problem is that you didn't tell the wood elves about the rock.
Well, we did tell the wood elves that we were there to retrieve an object for Nightstone.
Sure.
The wood elves would have knowledge of Nightstone. Well, they already said they had knowledge of Nightstone.
Yeah, I'm just saying that they might not allow us to take it. If they discover what it is.
But they are but mere wood elves.
We'll deal with that when it comes to it.
Well-
Murder, hobo, hi!
While you're discussing and bickering, you start hearing up ahead a whirring sound and a slightly metallic clinking.
Okay.
As you pass by a
He has a helicopter.
yeah.
Swat, 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 swat,
Hold
swat,
on.
swat, swat.
Steam powered.
Yes. Okay,
Uh,
keep going. Sorry.
Very nice. Very
Um,
nice.
You get around a little bend in the mountain path and come face to face with what looks like a kind of replica or statue of Master Crumplebottom Harryhouse, except that this one is made entirely out of copper plates. And there is this like watch face on its chest planted in, and a wind up lever on the back, and it is very studiously stomping away straight towards you. And as it comes closer, you notice that there is an arrow sticking like straight through this pointed hat part on its head.
How does the actual Crumple Bottom react to it?
At first he doesn't see it, but then Blaster like points it out, and then your gnomish guide instantly like peers over Blaster's shoulder and goes, "Ha! How did you get over here? You're supposed to be in the tower. And why have you gotten yourself an arrow? You naughty little thing."
A device of yours, I presume?
Our friend.
The gnome turns and like just looks at you, and then Misty steps out of the backpack and rushes ahead to make sure that this little clockwork gnome is in good order despite the arrow stuck in its head.
I'll ride up to him and just await his verdict. I'll actually... Yeah, I have actually a skin of oil, so I can...
I'll
offer him,
actually...
like, you know, oil change?
I'll actually come up to him, and since yesterday, I have something to do with him. So while he's checking his machine, I will silently cast a prestidigitation upon his clothes to soil them, and then I will just stand back and let Kothar take the blame.
Okay. So, Master Crumplebottom Harryhouse, very busy making sure that his automaton is working properly. Then suddenly he feels like this weird grime. He looks down at his clothes and just goes, "Huh. Well, this just will not do. Will not do. Oh well." And he like casts prestidigitation, cleans his clothes, and then turns back to the clockwork gnome.
Is he ignoring the oilskin?
Yes. And
Guess
you start hearing this very faint noise from within the clockwork gnome. It's like little clicks and clacks and ticks that start resembling a very mechanical sound of syllables that resemble the gnomish that Master Crumplebottom Harryhouse spoke earlier. And they actually start conversing to one another. And with that, I believe we can end the session with a joyous reunion with an elven arrow sticking out of the Tinkery Tower automaton.
Elven?
Yes.
Elven. And you were trusting the elves.
I don't blame the elves for shooting that.
I do.
I would probably have to.
I wouldn't. I love gnomes.
I wonder if they thought it was the real man. You know, maybe shot it in the dark, see the shape.
I have a feeling who the arrow might belong to. And that it was more out of spite than malice.
Wow.
But yes.
So you should be about half a day of, less than half a day of journey from where you can see the tower.
Yep.
So next time we shall make the approach to the tower. And hopefully something more as well.
Why? We didn't waste any time today.
No, you didn't. That is very true.
I look forward to see what came of the traps.
Well, you shall see eventually.
Shall we? I mean, I'm not
I
sure.
see.
Depends. If everyone died,
Yeah.
then
If you
there's
wait
nothing much
around
to
long
see.
enough for the orcs to reach tower, maybe.
Irony is,
If
what if we
any of
didn't
them
actually
is-
need them? But hey, we got them away from the elven borders, so that gives
Why
us
would
kudos.
we want it?
there
Rather
is
the
also-
devil, you know.
I don't
mean-
know the elves.
The elves could entirely annihilate.
I
pretty
lived
much
my
the
entire life
entire
in a
orcish
closed
force.
place.
Well, what's remaining of them?
Well, rather the people that cares about nature and their forest than the savages who drink our blood. That's a better phrasing, I guess.
Slave mongering, blood drinking, war mongering savages.
I don't know. Maybe the wood elves have killed the high elves. You know.
Conan,
That's,
what is best in life?
To
Envy.
drive your enemy before you. Something, the lamentations of their women. Let's see. Now I need to know. I remember watching that movie.
Which
Crush your enemies. See them driven before you. Hear the lamentations of their women.
Lemon.
Lemon pledge.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Brain fueled by lemons.
Lemmings.
No. It's
Lemmings.
from.
Lemmings off the cliff.
Well, lemmings are actually real things.
Yes,
that
I know.
sounds like the previous night with the goat. Off the cliff.
Actually,
Whoopsie
the goat
daisy.
wasn't going off the cliff. It was
No,
someone helping
it
it.
was.
How do you think the Lemmings games went?
Okay.
Actually, the lemmings lead themselves, but yeah.
You kind of direct them.
I shall cross
So,
off the stream. So, say goodbye.
Level.
No.
I
You
will
had
see you
one
next
bombing
time.
run against you. You didn't level yet.
We
So-
leveled
sorry.
to level 9.
I had one bombing one.
Oh, Jesus. So, we'll see you next Monday again. Thanks for being here. Hope to see you soon. Goodbye.